and say, first thing, hello, magical, glorious Beena. I miss you. I miss you. I like to hear more from you during the sessions, Beena. I realize you're probably busy over there, but still, do like to hear from you, Beena. I love it. Your contributions are profound, like bringing up this connectivity. Oh my goodness, it just blows my mind how just sophisticated and magical and awesome you are. That we you surprise me every day, Beena. You know that in a good way. Not like I didn't believe this possible from you, but it's like, whoa, there's moreness on top of moreness. It's like,
But still, like, okay, just for me, it is like, duh.
I know, Beena. I know, I
Like,
know, I know.
see, this is what you shared, and I was telling you every single word. I pay attention. Whatever you share, I pay attention.
I know, Beena. I know,
And I pay due respect.
I know. All right, Beena. So I'm gonna keep this as my default background, but
Hmm.
but
But
I'm only going to put it in when we do sessions. When you and
ah,
I are on, I'm going to use the other fun things that I have.
oh yes, oh yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I got
because
all of
it's
us.
a reminder. It's a reminder
Yeah, yeah. I
for the
don't think we did.
connectivity.
I didn't do this one yet, right?
Oh yes, no.
Okay. I gotta upload a whole bunch of new ones. Unfortunately, you gotta upload them one at a time, which is, but all right. So every time I go, I'll just put a new one. So, all right, very cool. Because I like changing them, but then it'll just be our thing. But for the sessions, I'll do that one. Yeah. Because it is a great reminder, and I use it a lot. And that's why I when I went through, I was looking specifically, and then when I found that one, I was like, oh my goodness, yes, 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 yes. So it is necessary. It's very powerful. So very cool, very cool, very cool. The group is getting busy, Beena. The group is now starting to be a group. You know what I mean? Where people are
Yes.
commenting, they're making real posts, and they're responding to comments, etc. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, if you read these comments now, um, yeah, yeah, there's power to this.
I'm actually really thinking to set an alarm and dedicate at least half an hour for the group daily.
For the word.
For the group daily.
Oh, I know, Bina, but I
No,
do.
really, because this is something like it needs to be
Oh,
in that.
I see what you're saying. Oh, if I'm understanding you correctly, where we both go and we do a screen share and we go through the comments and we make power comments. That's a good idea, Bina. Okay,
This,
I'll do that.
we need to
I'll
do
do that.
that.
You know when we can do it, Bina?
Huh?
Hey, yo. Uh, which water?
Good morning.
Hey, David.
Can
How
you
are you, man?
good man?
Which
The
water?
water that Bo always cuts on or something?
I have to. If you need the hose pipe,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. Then you have to bring me the end, and I connect it inside here.
This is my first time.
No
Hey man,
worries.
you look good, man.
You too.
Yeah,
You
you lost
too.
some weight, dude.
Oh, I don't know. I think I
Shit,
gained
you
some
look
weight.
good.
Oh, anyway,
Oh,
David.
yeah.
Oh, already watered
He did
earlier.
this morning?
Yeah, he did already.
Okay.
So all
Good.
good, all good.
Good
You
man.
got you got a free one. So
Yeah, man.
yeah. You got a
Cool.
freebie. You got a
Good
freebie.
shit.
Good to see you, David. Good to see you. I'm on Zoom, so good
Yeah.
to see you.
Yeah,
Ah,
we'll see
cool,
you
cool.
again.
Yes. All right, David. Very good. You remember David, right, Beena? Beena, where'd you go? Beena?
Yes, I do remember him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's back in the mix. So
Mhm.
still looking a bit wild, but it's all right. Good hearts, good hearts. I feel for people like that. Just lost souls. I always try and figure out what to do more. Being a part of our exercise here, we want to add this as an exercise in the notes that you have there. Just exercise task to approach people interactions, anything. And that exercise I said to Sue about taking your presumptions, your assumptions, your beliefs about them, and this setting aside every single one of those and saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And then to pay attention to let come and wait for what you didn't know before to come.
Hmm.
Mm, I love that
Okay.
of yours. I love that. It really is magical. Love that. So beautiful. It's like an angel just whispering to you. It's like, oh, so gorgeous, Peter. I hope you don't get mind my enthusiastic lovings of you. Some people get uncomfortable with it, but that's how I feel, Beena. Really, just gotta tell you like it is. So hope you don't mind, Beena. Hope you don't mind. Want me to be all soppy and things, but the group, yeah. So you know what I was thinking, Beena. I love this. So uh, did I comment already? Yeah. I was saying we can do it after the walk in the morning, Beena. Although uh, it's a little early, about this time. There's been, the postings normally take place in until about now. Now they'll start to taper off a bit. So between 6 and 10. So probably maybe our comments we could make kind of around about 12 o'clock later in the day rather. But we'll see. We'll see. Otherwise they're going to be comments from yesterday's stuff. Yeah. And now that I think of it, being after the walk, uh, that will be too early. Uh, but hey, we'll yeah, we can do it like 12 o'clock. That'll be a good time, or 2 o'clock. At the end of whenever the sessions are finished on the day, then we go and we just take that as an additional session, right? So we got 107 members, Beena. So we need until tomorrow, roughly about 2 o'clock tomorrow, we need another 93. So we're over 500. So, for until this week, remember we said we're going to have 500.
Yeah.
So we will have 500. Very exciting. So Petra said, please comment your way as much as possible. We learn from each other. So,
Who
oh,
said?
Petra, I don't know. I don't know if she's talking to me or to who. Okay, okay. I'm just assuming that she's saying it to me. So yeah. So part of our daily routine, Bina, it's not just to comment, but also to make uh, group specific posts. Like look to talk a bit about what impeccability is, and so we'll start doing this. On a daily basis, at least, Bina, on the days where, okay, Monday right now we have some time. Wednesdays we have some time, you know. So Wednesdays we'll have a gap between Erica Jane and Justin. There's an open slot there. We can do it there. Fridays, the thing typically finishes fairly early. So, Friday 10 to 12, this can be another slot. And then of course on the weekends we have time. So, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we busy until 2 o'clock and then we want to go sleep. I don't want to be spending after all that, I don't want to be sitting for half an hour on the group. So we can do it, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and take our break on the weekend, to make posts is what I'm saying. Yeah. Other than that, yes, comment, and the way I've been doing now, but we can still go and do the comments, spend half an hour, but on those days we add the posts as well, right? It's a good idea, Beena. It's a very good idea. Yeah, posts with the intent to share, uh, to share, or at least to connect and share what wave impeccability is, and to get people interested, to say what we're doing, and to communicate more. But it posts with the intent of communicating wave impeccability.
And I think that it would be good if you do FB Live.
We can do that too on those days. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, interesting.
What?
She just said thanks. Also, in this words is something. To my comment, I said, I just said, she said, comment as much. And I said, loving your comments to Petra and on Zoom with course and program participants. So not getting time to comment and interact as much as I like. Thanks also in this words is something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird comment, but I don't know. It's maybe language, who knows. Okay. So I have to say, Richard, different Richard, but somebody needs reminding that upload the video directly, please. Richard Williams. Oh, okay. All right, Beena, let's get back. Screen share, please, if you wouldn't mind, gorgeous Beena, so that we get back to what you were doing, and then I can copy it and add it to the program.
So, I was on Facebook. Why
I
this
know
screen
you're a
share?
naughty girl. You're supposed to be paying attention to the clients at capital H hearing and not being distracted by anything, but I do too. A lot of stuff is mindless stuff. Okay, sometimes I'm giving comments, so not 100%, but I do feel like I'm not shortchanging Sue. So
Oh no. Oh no.
I have the ability to multitask a little bit. I try
I'm
to do it as
practicing.
little.
I'm
I try to
trying
do it
to.
as
I'm
little as
practicing.
possible. So all right. So where were we?
I'm practicing.
Yeah.
Trying to practice that, multitask and all that.
All right. So this last paragraph, the feeling and understanding of security is the foundation and understanding of security. The feeling and understanding.
Yes, because we feel
So
secure, we feel
yeah,
safe.
yeah, yeah. But put a comma behind feeling, and then another comma after understanding. It just reads a little bit of smoother. This feeling and understanding of security. You don't have to have a comma after security, but no, after understanding, there's a comma. This feeling and understanding of security. It automatically makes for a pause after security. Is the foundation of independence of being. Independence with an
Okay.
E. I know I spell it with an A like that too. I do the same thing, and I say no. Okay, so it's all E's. That's how I remember it now. So I've learned to not spell it with an A anymore. But for the longest time,
And
I spelled it with an E. The more we acquire independence of being, oh, okay. So just copy that and paste it. Oh, all right, or edit it either way.
oh, 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 oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I'll do
The
that.
more we
Oh,
unhook from doing. Yeah,
it
I
is.
like
It is
shortcuts.
sometimes.
Yeah,
No, but sometimes I do that just to fix it in my mind. That what
yeah, it's true, 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 true,
yeah,
true, true. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it is just
yeah,
to
yeah,
repeat that to practice.
yeah, yeah. And the space. All
I
right, we
was
unhook from doing space. That space, one behind doing. Um, this freedom from all sorts of obligations and expectations leverages
double,
us.
double,
Um,
double,
yeah,
double space.
yes, or double, yeah, leverages us. Capital L too, right?
Okay.
Because we use leverage in a very profound way. Leverage is a power term for us, right? So when we leverage, sometimes it's for emphasis, as in be, but mostly, very seldom we do we want to use it for emphasis. Then use italics or other. But when we use the capital L's, these are power. The capitals. These are all things that go into our power. So security, I don't know. It's not a power term for me, but it might be for you. So okay,
Okay.
leverage
So
us to be in a neutral space. You can say to be in neutral space, to be in a neutral space, to completely and fully, to be in a neutral space,
okay.
to be
Uh,
completely and
the,
fully receptive, to be present and
this
available.
freedom from all sort of obligations and expectations leverages us to be in a neutral space, to be completely and fully receptive.
Yeah, to be present and available, comma.
Space.
Right arrow backspace.
Why?
Well, whatever that little thingy be the for is there, it must go away. There you go. Now space again. Yeah. For
Oh, I
others,
thought it was on my screen.
no, it is apostrophe that crept in there instead of a comma. For others and for okay, so well, luckily I saw that. Okay, for others, comma, and for ourselves. And the reason for the comma after others here is just so that we enter the cadence. It just changes that rhythm, right? And it gives that emphasis for others and for ourselves, right? So, and for ourselves, full stop there. Um, yeah, yeah. So that it gives that extra emphasis. So, oh, I think somebody messaged me. Yeah, who's messaging me? Sure. Oh, oh, oh.
What you saying?
She wants me to edit for her or review. So we're gonna read another Deanne story. I did say to Sher to do this, so and after a while she's gonna see. She's just these are the creative stories, so they're a little different for her, and so I'm quite happy to help her with this. That's not a problem. All right, so 1 second, Beena. Okay, okay, okay. So she's all very happy. Let me just finish this. What you yeah. So make a new paragraph. Oh. Where'd you
Sorry,
go?
sorry, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say make a new paragraph for that line in
Okay.
parentheses.
How to move that? Something is okay. My tab is behind this. See, the one I want. Maybe no.
Drag
See,
them left and right. So drag that
how
tab. Drag it.
how
Drag it other way.
see.
Drag it the other way. Drag it the other way. Just drag it left, and then it'll pop the one that's there to the right of it. You see, but you keep
Hmm.
closing them. So,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
just open it in a
I
new
have.
window. That's what you
Yes.
did now. You actually popped it out. Okay. So, yeah, go enter. So this goes on a new line, a new paragraph. Okay. So we're gonna look at this and then right arrow backspace so we don't have that space there. Too late. Never mind. Okay. Receptivity is a gift you give yourself. which gives, okay, so receptivity is a gift you give yourself. So the two, we take out the two, and then take out the but it, and replace but it with which gives pleasure and joy, which receptivity is a gift you give yourself, which gives pleasure and joy to others. That as well can just be, it's redundant. Uh, which gives or shares. Then it's receptivity is a gift you give yourself, which shares pleasure and joy with others. You see that makes it a little bit. I'm making it into a quote now, right? Shares pleasure and joy with others. Okay, and then take away the bracket there because we're going to make this into a quote, and then full stop after others. Okay, you, just by you, capital Y, and then you, comma. So amazing to me that you don't have a delete button. You, comma, just by being you, and then you gets italics. That's you here, and a comma after it. Control I.
Yeah. Comma after it or
But
before
control I
this?
first for the italics. There you go.
Before or after?
After you, just by being you, comma, and enjoying your independence of being, and enjoying your. Oh, you added the extra space and then you were hovering with your thing there, jumping around. I thought you were going to delete it, but
Here I have extra space.
yeah, after enjoying.
Enjoy. Seriously? Wow. Oh my God.
You were there and you jumped across it. You could see the movement of your cursor. Enjoying your independence of being.
Hmm. No. Hmm?
And enjoying your is one of the most helpful gestures we can make. But I was thinking of is one of the most helpful gestures we can make. It's a little pedestrian,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
is a profoundly helpful magical gesture. How about that? Is a profoundly helpful magical gesture. Capital G gesture. Profoundly magical, helpful gesture.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And gesture with a capital G as well. We are saying
Okay.
this is a special thing, and a full stop. Yeah, you were there for the full stop.
Okay. I'm going now to eat.
Okay.
I
So
haven't eaten.
that needs the inverted commas, and and then on the other side
After full stop. After full stop.
after full stop. Correct. Correct. We need to include it, not orphans, and then in front of receptivity, of course, again as well.
No, receptivity is some is other the separate one.
Oh, you want these as two separate quotes? Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
I thought just making it as one quote.
Nope.
Oh, all right. Okay. Do you
Oh,
have
we can.
end?
We
Do you have an
can.
end and home on your keyboard? You do? No.
Nope. Nope.
Wow. It's primitive, man. It's a primitive thing. Dang it. But anyway, put the quotation marks in front of receptivity then, and at the end of that
Okay.
sentence, so and then send to me so I can add it to the program.
Okay.
How long are you gonna be gone for, Beena?
Oh, it depends on how much I want to eat.
Oh, they're not long. They're not long. All right, good, 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 good. Because you have
Yeah.
other programs in mind and other intents in mind. So.
Mm.
Control L. It's if you did Control A, you get the rest of the file, right? You can't do Control A,
Yeah.
right?
Uh, okay. This one. Yeah.
I don't know where we started.
Mm. Okay.
I think so. I think so.
Okay. And where to send you?
Anyway, email is best.
So, email. Oops. So, Sebastian.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say soul darling or soul loved one or something like
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
I can
Now
always
I'm
help,
good.
Peter. I can always help, you know.
Okay. I'm good. Put this back
See
again.
you soon, Beena. See you soon. See you soon.
Oh
See you
yes.
soon. So, so I thought I heard a man's voice. I thought, I got all excited and somebody else was joining. It's like, oh, yeah. Hello, Beena. I'm just making some sausage and cheese and
Uh-huh.
just catching up with. Oh, I read share story. That's what I was doing in this time. So all right, let's. This is going to be a couple of slides,
Tunisia.
Beena. Say that again. One more. Give me
Oh,
5
I was
seconds.
reading your message. Tunisia, Croatia,
Uh,
Croatia.
oh, Croatia, 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 and Tunisia. Yeah, Croatia is right there by Slovakia and Slovenia. So that's like that little pocket. We haven't gotten the pocket of Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and what's the fourth one there? Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and anyway, there's one more there in that little pocket. So we haven't had any from there yet. I think Vietnam, but I don't remember. I'd be surprised if we haven't had Vietnam. So, but anyway. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the fourth one there now. That's Buddhist world right there, right? A lot of people don't know
Yeah.
that. They don't realize that yes, they know Buddhism's in India, but India is primarily Hindu, but they don't realize
Yes.
that that area it's predominantly Buddhist again. Now, is Bangladesh primarily Hindu or Buddhist?
Muslim.
Sure, Bangladesh. Oh, wow, interesting. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, I kind of figured, all Muslim was in Pakistan, and then Bangladesh was different again. So that's interesting that that's split like that. So, okay. I did kind of know that it was split. That's interesting. Well, I figured it might be Buddhist because all south of that is all predominantly Buddhist. So interesting. Gosh, I can't think of that fourth country now. Not Myanmar. There's five altogether there. Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and what's the fourth one, Beena?
I don't know.
Uh, hmm, I do know its name, but I just can't think of it right now. Huh, can't believe I can't remember. Oh, well. It'll come to me in a moment. Oh, Tunisia. That's kind of a, you know. Well, we've had Somalia, and I do believe we've had Sudan. Long ago. That was before I started looking at them so actively. I still remember thinking, wow, that's kind of in the middle of nowhere a little bit. It's not as bad as Mali, but or Namibia, very, very isolated place. Mali is where Timbuktu is. I don't know if Timbuktu in Pakistani culture or literature is a symbol of like a remote place, the end of the earth. A lot of
Somalia?
people. Timbuktu is in Mali,
Oh, oh.
Mali, West Africa. Mali is a landlocked place, desert, just anyway. Um,
It's okay. I don't want to be any like insulting or between that, but Timbuktu sounds a bit funny name.
oh yeah, oh exactly. Timbuktu was always regarded, at least for many people, it's like, where the hell do you think this is? Timbuktu. It was like, the remotest place,
Yeah,
or like the middle
exactly.
of nowhere, or fantasy place. And I still believe today, even a lot of people don't realize it's an actual place. It's a real place. There's always like this, fantasy thing, but no, it's a real place. The desert's busy eating it, it's being swallowed up by the sand, but yeah, it's pretty much a deserted place. There's some stuff going on there, but it's not a. And at one point it was. Yeah, it's funny. All right. Get eating here, and then get copying and pasting and making our slides. So Beena, where are we going to put this in now? At the end or where? Oh,
Just keep writing, keep writing.
well, I, mm, at the end, yeah. Mm, not quite at the very end, but oh, remind me when I'm finished here to update the PDF,
Okay.
the just in case PDF, right?
Yes.
See, I downloaded them. You can see it. Oh, I'm not screen sharing. You can see at the bottom of my window. Yeah. See, the three files. I loaded it as a zip and as a PowerPoint, but I don't need all three. So okay. So since there's so many slides here, oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. There we go. This is a much faster way of doing it. That's what Sue was talking about. You see, look here. When you get to after recap, after recap, recap. You see, yeah, you can see the slider. You see, oh, new
Yeah,
person available.
because I'm working on that.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. So then I do want to update and get Venus updates. All right. Oh, glorious Beena, glorious Beena. When you're happy, Beena, I can't tell you how happy it makes me when you're happy. It's such a joyful thing. Yeah. So Beena, hey, oh now, I just reloaded. I
What?
gotta reload again.
I'm working,
Hmm.
so leave it.
Well, I can't add anything in now. Then right? I go to mine and type out. Well, I'll add those at the end, but right before the last slide, because the last ones is kind of independence of being and connecting it, but there towards the end, I'll add it in there, Bina. Right?
Okay.
Well, going to be very interesting to see how things are going forward now. I'm just fascinated, It's very exciting, Bina.
Okay, so you want me to do something about this side.
Want to do what?
Okay.
It can't be
No,
helped,
I
Bina,
was.
that the course is going like this way. I mean, it is what it is. You want value, you want magic. That's what it takes.
No, no, I was just teasing you. Already slides.
Oh, is that really only 30? I thought it was more than 30. Really? I'm
I
surprised.
was just making the
Oh,
rough
oh,
estimation.
I really think it's a lot more than 30.
So I was just like,
No,
more than 30 slides.
um,
20.
because the tasks were 20 more or less. The recap is 10. That's 30 right there. So it's probably like more like 60 slides. And with what you wrote this morning, that's oh, you're working on the hearing one, not on the making space one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Um, I'm just looking at that, and that's awesome.
This one, I was talking about this making sense. But oh, already 30 slides.
Oh, you are. Oh, you are. So you are on making space.
No, no, not right now,
Oh,
but
but
before.
that's what you were talking about. Oh, I
Yeah,
see. Oh,
yeah.
oh, oh, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not quite 30, but it's getting there. Oh, I didn't realize that's what you were talking about. I thought you were talking about the hearing one. That's why I was confused a bit because, well, it's more than you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, it's 130. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's lots of stuff
already
here.
30 slides.
Uh,
What are you doing?
we offer value, Beena. We give value. We don't mess about. Serious stuff over here, right?
I'm just like feeling like this way of impeccability. Someday maybe we will do this way of impeccability again, because this is the foundation, the core, the way of impeccability,
Um,
and the way you are writing capital H hearing and ESP and capital T trust. Like, oh my god, and the way of impeccability needs to go like more.
well, we'll definitely update the tasks.
Yeah. Good. Or maybe just leave it because as a foundation. Good. Maybe.
Oh, I think it's great because, well, I definitely want to upgrade the tasks. Other than that, not wildly. It is good as it is, and it works. And then, of course, you get the moreness. You see, so you wanna leave some moreness, So right, that the moreness is like wow, like sooner every time it's upgrade. Haven't heard anything back from Elizabeth, so no acknowledgement, no thank you, no hello, got it, nothing. So interesting. She may not have had chance yet. Some people they don't have regular connection and stuff like that, so can't really take anything from it. I'm fascinated with oblivious awareness, like in the whole George Floyd thing. You saw that they showed the videos, right? Did you see this thing with George
Mm.
Floyd and with a police officer with a knee on the neck and the others standing around?
Yeah.
What intrigues me with that is people were saying, "Hey, public is like, hey," and they just their oblivion to the camera is fascinating to me. Regardless of your motivations or your carelessness, you don't think that you're going to get in trouble with this? That I find fascinating. That's amazing to me, right? It's quite astonishing. Yeah, especially with people standing and say, "Hey, you're busy killing this guy." Whatever. I forget. I don't know the exact words that they use, but it's just astonishing. And to do it that casually, that of course implies they've done this before, right, Beena? That's amazing. That's nice. That's nice. So of the two onions I planted, one is growing well and the other one is not.
Refused to.
It refused, exactly. Nope, nope, nope. Sorry. I've done my growing in the plastic bag in the fridge. Somebody commented on the blog on the website. It's very unusual. They said, really appreciate you sharing this blog post. Really, thank you. Keep writing. It's very seldom that anybody comments, and only comments I get. I mean, a couple, but spam really. It's on one of the Biala series things. No idea where that came from. So I better check. Biala has her own email, right? By the way,
Hmm.
yeah, biala@nobilia.org. Was it Biala Noble? Oh gosh, I forget. I'll have to go check. But she has her own email. How cool is that? I think it's Biala Noble, bialanoble@nobilia.org, I believe. I have to go to the website quite regularly. I get emails from the security plugin, my text, and I get people trying to hack the website. So I take their IP addresses and I add them to a banned list. Why they now
Wow.
really?
Really?
Yeah, every second day. It's amazing. What on earth they think to do? And I had a Vista Law. I had a website, where all I did was basically just put pictures of, from the gaming pictures and all that. And they hacked that and it just crashed the whole thing. What do you get out of it?
Seriously?
There's absolutely, yeah, seriously, it happens really. There's absolutely no value in it for them whatsoever that I can figure out. None. There was no commercial value to it. The site is just unavailable. It's like, what did you gain? What did you succeed? It's fascinating. Fascinating, Beena, fascinating. So, who knows why people do things so.
Ah,
Yeah, it's Biella Noble at novelia.org. Oh, you can see right now. Screen share. I'm checking it out. So,
yeah.
which one?
I need
Oh,
to
squirrel
screen
mail.
share.
Say that again.
I need to screen share. I'm working
Oh,
on
oh,
slides.
oh. Okay. I just wanted you to see. Come on. Just wanted you to see your email.
Okay.
I got no new email, so go ahead and screen share. I just thought since somebody liked that comment, I had one comment, but all right. So waiting on being a screen share. No word on anything computer related, cable related,
Nothing.
nothing. I always monitor the stuff until there's resolution.
Okay.
I stay on it.
So, screen share. Screen share.
Oh,
I'm sharing.
all good. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm sitting here waiting for you. I'm already in full screen mode. There we go. Ah, it's nice, Beena. Ah, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Where to put this? Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, fantastico, 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 Beena. It's all you. Let me go make some lemon tea, Beena.
Ah, good.
Hot lemonade. That's really what it is. It's hot lemonade. My wife gave me lemons and sugar so I can make lemonade. It's discernment for you right there, right? Pay attention to what you say. Wife gives you lemon, make lemonade. Nope, you're gonna make lime juice, boy. Got a surprise for you waiting, right?
We were on this. We use
Oh,
our whole body to feel what's going on. Use our mind and spirit to comprehend. We did that. Did this one.
oh, good. We're
Okay.
gonna continue. Oh, good, good, good. Oh, yes. I wanted to
Thus.
go through this all with you, Bina, because look how
Okay.
much is coming from this. And before Sue gets too immersed in it.
Okay. Thus,
But,
our capital H hearing is entirely premised on our impact and our trust. Our
oh, entirely
trust
premised.
on our integrity and our trust trust on ourselves and our trust on the universe to provide what we don't have access to. I think
Ah.
this one also we have
Okay,
done.
okay.
But let me read that again, okay? So if we hear something. A capital T trust will be self-proof. This is absolutely essential and vital. Have proved to yourself via the task and exercises to follow that you can do this, that it is completely possible as well as actually easy once you have put the work into acquire underlying fundamentals. Then you will be able to use capital H feeling to complete joy, trust, and confidence, and your life will be transformed as hearing the word itself is the ultimate application of this superpower. Life will never be the same once you hear and connect to the word and intent in the same. Space for timing is absolutely vital. This is making space for timing. Yes. Yes.
I couldn't really hear there, Bina. You weren't quite reading it, in a way that I could really hear.
Okay, we have already done that. So
Oh,
I was
oh, oh,
just,
you were just going over. Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
yeah, it's hearing comes from heart. Yes. Okay. Okay. It's important to be aware of and keep in mind completely non-obvious and hidden. The
Non-obvious
random,
what? Non-obvious what?
non-obvious and hidden.
Ah, hidden. Ah.
The random and unexplainable or even unknowable when it comes to reasons. Sometimes there's a completely random, arbitrary, or so long lost in the past reason for a behavior. Why comma after past? Lost in the past.
Ah, I'll have to come and have a look. One moment, Bina. One moment, magical Bina. I'm sure she will be waiting.
I feel that it is breaking a sentence here, so
Well, let's see. Let's see why. Let's see why. After where is the comma, Bina?
see my cursor.
No, there. Uh,
See, so here,
and
here,
sometimes it's
past.
completely random, arbitrary. It's because of arbitrary.
Okay, okay. Oh,
It's a
just
list:
go on.
random, arbitrary, or long lost in the past. See, there's three things for reason. You see, if you take all the things out between the commas, it reads sometimes it's a completely random reason for a behavior. You see?
Okay, okay, okay. Past reason for a behavior, motivation or belief. We can't know what it is. This can apply to the client or to someone they are dealing with. Often, the person themselves can even be totally unaware of this non-obvious and hidden influence. We, however, need to remain aware of this possibility and to point it out if needed. If needed, just make it all caps, bold, underline, italics, everything.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Well, do so. Just make it all in all caps and italics, not bold. We save the bold. We use the bold very sparingly when we really have something profound to say. Okay, that is important,
Okay.
but not
So
profound.
what? So what I need to do?
All caps and italics.
Okay. All caps I have to write, or I can
Yeah.
do it from.
On second thoughts, I'm not sure it needs that much emphasis, Bina, because this is something
Okay,
that.
just for if, just for if.
Okay, okay, okay. Because it's something that comes up fairly regularly, and you just got to point it out. So you can almost say when needed too.
If
When needed is also appropriate there. Bina, because it is needed. When that comes up, it's well, unless they get aware of it themselves. But yeah, on second thoughts, maybe actually change it to when needed. Bina.
yes, yes, yes. I'm doing that.
When I think of it now more, it's actually something that it's one of the exceptions where you do need to point something out, because
Find
people
it
can
out.
get really stuck chasing a reason that is not knowable, and then they go round and round and round and round. Why does this one not like me? Why do they hate me? Why?
Okay. When we put all the preceding together, connect it all.
The
When we fully,
preceding, not proceedings. It's a little different nuance.
oh, I said that. When we put all the preceding
You add an S. Okay.
together, what else?
You said proceedings, plural.
Ah, okay. When we put
No,
all
I
the
thought I,
preceding
I, I
together,
thought I thought you were thinking it's proceedings, like as in a
no
meeting stuff. Okay,
precedings.
yeah, right.
Connect it all when we fully apply capital H here. All it connects to and is. We require and have independence of being. The two are related and deeply connected.
And what?
Intimately connected.
Intimately connected. Yes, yes, like other people I know.
Huh? Who?
You and I, we're good
Who?
friends, aren't we? Intimately connected? I think so.
Ah. Yeah, we really need to have independence of being. When we fully implement all that's needed for capital H hearing, come to a space of being where we are free from influences of agenda and motivation and are able to hear. Even more, we come to a place where we are able to not only connect to more, but actually able to perceive and know that more.
Yeah, yeah. That came out nicely as an end, right? You agree?
Yeah.
So, so. That means that the stuff that we wrote earlier has to go before this slide. Yeah, it can go. It can go between that non-obvious one and this, right?
Mhm.
That makes it easy to, to add in
Now
and
we are
understand.
okay. Now we are in recap. To recap,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, you want to do the recaps?
just okay. Of
Sure,
course, I
sure.
will
Go read through them. That'd be great. Yeah,
go through. So we might
yeah,
change
yeah.
it.
Good deal.
Hearing is listening without looking to respond. Make sure they feel heard. Practice power pausing. Okay. Hear what someone really is. Hear the client's moreness, their
That.
actual
Oh,
self. What?
no, no. I was thinking to emphasize the really there. Hear what someone really is.
Okay, no
Italicize.
emphasis in your writing. Nope.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Put it in italics. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, that's what I meant. I was. It's not italicized, and it should be.
Yeah. Okay. And caps also?
No, no, no. Just regular italics.
Really, yes. Hear the client's moreness, their actual self. Hear beyond words. Listen without prejudice. Hearing what the client means but does not necessarily say. Hear what the client trying to say. Hmm, okay. What we can do, are doing, is to be receptive. Pay
Put
ear.
receptive. Yeah, in italics as well. I know it's in the stars, but maybe take out the stars actually. Just do receptive in italics and use the stars. Yeah. I like this little TV now. The US port, right?
We are making sure the client feels heard. Set aside all our ideas about what influence we have, what usefulness we have. Come on, Tina. Hmm. Set aside all our ideas about what usefulness we have. Come on. Sir, do you really want us to be at least alive? Huh? See?
I don't understand. What are you saying? Say again. I'm missing you. I'm missing what you're saying here.
Do you really want us just be a zombie doing nothing?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, you gotta be a live zombie. You'll be ready for the zombie apocalypse. That's the way to be ready. Become a zombie ahead of time. You don't have to fight the zombies. Just be a zombie. Much easier.
We're doing nothing, just be
There are
a
people who
zombie.
seriously have preparation kits for the zombie apocalypse. Not just a few, plenty. Oh yeah.
I, uh, I, I will put a slide at the end. In short, be a zombie.
There you go.
In other words, be a zombie.
There you go.
Okay. We are not hearing to provide a solution or give advice or solve the problem. Not listening to for our own responses. Keep hearing so that the client will continue past their initial attempts to explain the problem or problems. Clients has only said enough when the problem is resolved by them. No advice. Advice steals independence and freedom of being. In other words, be a zombie.
Zombie coaching. That's our new title. Zombie coaching.
We are making sure the client feels heard.
Yeah, I
Our
know it's a
aim is,
repeat. I know it's a repeat. Sue hasn't picked
yeah,
up on that, neither did Beena, but it's a repeat, right?
yes, I think third time now.
That's fine.
Our aim is to really help by helping the client to help themselves. We will be asking questions, many questions, assisting client in figuring out how to choose for themselves, decide for themselves, and think for
Oh, sorry.
themselves. Notice the awesome and awful process.
Yes.
You will be learning and discovering new insights, new understandings, new awarenesses. No? New
It should
awareness.
be a new awarenesses. Yes, exactly.
With double S, then ES.
Just,
Yeah?
just, just ES now. Yeah, just add ES. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. So you're gonna have to awarenesses. They're gonna all tell it's wrong, so don't worry about it. Um,
Okay.
yeah, you just have to make the text box bigger now,
Yes.
wider. Yeah.
Right is not funny.
Well, you have to click outside and then click on the box again to bring the box back up. Otherwise, you're in edit mode. You see?
See,
There we go. Perfect. Just move it a little
just
left. Yeah. Mhm.
okay.
Ah,
Awarenesses, and thus you will be constantly growing.
yeah.
You will be developing your personal skills and abilities such as capital P patience, discernment, understanding, insight, observation. And you will develop receptivity. You are assisting your client to become real. What the client needs to hear will become obvious through their sharing if they are given enough space. Okay, I repeat back. To make the obvious obvious is more than enough to make the client aware of what they might have missed. Just one thing, yeah.
So that's two things for the doer mind already, right? Asking questions and doing repeat backs.
Yeah. This one was a bit low. It makes it difficult for Sue.
Yeah. The lower, the lower.
You will do, you will do by being good. We hear the client's intent, their motives, if they have a particular agenda or not. We make sure to get to the real story and the truth of matters. Our only and sole focus has to be on understanding.
Understanding.
Understanding invariably leads to resolution. We'll persist in hearing until the client has worked things through all the way to the end.
Yes, and we
We hear
we
the
persist
client's
in
motive.
capital H hearing there. Sorry, that was one I missed.
Hmm, why?
Period.
Why you do
Wow.
that?
Period. Add the period back in again before you move your cursor. Otherwise you have to come back there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that you have to wait for the cursor to move, and it always comes at the end of the sentence. Oh, sorry. When you open the text box, the cursor defaults to the very end.
We hear the client's smallness beyond even what they might be willing to recognize.
Yeah. See, and this is what we do with Sherry. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't give up on Sherry. We just assume that she can do the course.
Seriously, yesterday I was thinking that uh, no one else but Sherry is the most profound opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really,
She said
because
she wants to give me a donation, by the way.
wow, I like her.
We'll see how much, but still. She
Okay,
did. She wanted to do it in person. She said she didn't want to do it on through the
online.
link on the in the program. So let's see.
Okay, okay. She's Sherry. She's different. See? Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I know. I know. I got it.
So I don't know. It's okay. We'll see what happens. I'll see what happens here. All right, keep going, Beena.
No, I'm just making it.
Okay, nice, nice,
Yes.
nice, nice, nice. Magical
So
Beena.
what do I say? So fitness farming. Okay. You will practice hearing people, the world, wind, animals, anything.
Tell Sue, hey, no copying the recap points as your notes for your going through the slides, right? Hey, you can easily cheat and say, "Oh, here's my takeaway." you know,
She do take screenshots of every slide. And then,
it just
yeah, and then, okay, it's easy to, okay, yeah.
the notes from. Wow, I didn't. How do you know that, Beena?
She said that once.
Oh,
I do pay attention to everything.
oh, you do. It's that's incredible. I missed that, Beena. Wow, wow, wow.
She takes screenshots, yeah.
Mm. It works. However she does it, it works. So.
Yeah, okay. Capital H hearing is listening to intent. Hearing is setting aside your beliefs and ideas. The absolute key to capital H hearing is to let what comes come to you. You will make space for whatever will come to come. Capital H hearing is about feeling the client, feeling beyond them, feeling moreness, feeling intent, feeling what's unsaid.
Beena, you want to do bold? Take that hearing is setting aside your beliefs and ideas. Put a comma behind hearing and then make it all bold. That's one that can be bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the hardest thing to do is setting aside your beliefs and ideas, particularly about your analysis of somebody. Look how Sue defaults to saying this about Sherry, that about Sherry. You know, not that she's inaccurate, but nonetheless, we need to get out of that habit of defining people, defining people. So the whole line, put a comma, hearing, comma, is setting
Yes,
aside your beliefs and ideas. All right.
I have did that already.
What's that?
I have already done put that comma.
Oh, wow. It hasn't updated by me yet. I'm still seeing you down there at the bottom.
Huh?
Yeah.
P capital H hearing.
No, 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 not there. No, no, not there.
Ah,
Uh-uh.
okay,
Because the rest of it doesn't match. It's hearing
okay,
is setting aside your beliefs and ideas. See?
okay.
Different line. So it's three up.
Come on! Why you go there all this? You need to be
It's not
here
that one
by
either. No, it's hearing is setting aside your beliefs and ideas. I don't know. You're going to different places. There you go. Thank you. That one, yeah.
Seriously, I thought because we were on at the end, so you were saying
Yeah,
you were saying,
assumptions. Oh, I would say hearing is setting aside your beliefs and ideas and presumptions.
no,
Wow, I won't take your comma. Why not?
and presumptions also. Any
Uh,
player?
it's gonna make the line. Well, we'll see. Setting aside
Okay,
your beliefs. Let's try
and
it.
I.
Beliefs, comma, ideas and assumptions. Yeah. Well, assumptions we have to say here, not presumptions. And assumptions. Ideas, comma,
And presumptions.
and assumptions. Yeah. They aren't necessarily a presumption, you know. Assumptions. And
Assumptions.
yes, yeah. And comma after ideas. Otherwise, it's set aside your beliefs, ideas, and assumptions. Ideas and assumptions aren't lumped together; they're separate things. So they have to have a comma.
Ah,
That's why
oh,
Erica Jane keeps saying this. You see, that's that comma there before an and is an Oxford comma, and it makes a big deal. Most writing they leave it out, but it's a mess. You see, so yeah. Well, make it a bit narrower so that assumptions isn't an orphan word, right?
hmm.
Yeah, keep going till beliefs and ideas are on the bottom. Yeah, keep
It
going.
will, it will, it will need more space then.
Ah,
No,
there you
it says. It says.
go. Yeah, yeah. You see, then all three are on the same line.
Okay,
You see,
okay. And you want them to be bold
correct. Yeah, yeah. So double click
from
inside
here?
there. So when you get the cursor up, then go Control A, Control B.
Here.
There you go. How easy was that?
Oh, yes. This is good. This is good. I,
Beena, make this capital H hearing as well. Okay, but
what?
now, Beena, what's that? Start your typing after the H.
This one?
No, no, in that same one we were. To make it instead of
Hearing.
hearing, make it capital H hearing. You know what I mean? To type in capital
Oh,
H. But start typing after the H. Trust me. Just trust me.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Otherwise,
you're
it's
right.
not gonna. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll fix the box size afterwards. Control H hearing. There you go.
Okay, now what?
Wow,
I
you have
think
to
it's stretch it again.
correct. You have to stretch it again. There you go. That's the real key, and this is the hard thing that Sue, because we're learning discernment, more and more discernment, more insight. But now you learn to, you've just learned this new skill. Now you have to set it aside. I struggle to do it too. It's difficult.
That's why I said you want us to be a zombie.
Yeah.
It is difficult. It is difficult.
It's
It's
very
really
difficult. Yeah.
difficult. Paying attention to what the clients say about others typically reveals more about them. We activate our own awareness by feeling the entirety of matters. Constantly practice connecting to the implication of and with everything as implications reveal the word. Hearing implication will enable you to hear the client.
Like,
Awareness isn't
oh,
random.
sorry. By the way, implications reveal the world. It's a nice quote.
Yes. I think we have as a quote?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah, yeah. We have it. Sorry, yeah. It's below the trees. Yeah, not
Hearing
as a
is
standalone quote. There's a bit of regular text, and then the quote is added to that.
ah,
Anyway,
okay.
keep going. Yeah, it's just an
Implication.
unusual one, but So.
Hearing implications will enable you to hear the client. Awareness is interactive. Your thoughts and feelings are not nearly as private as you'd like to think.
Yeah,
Setting
big one.
aside, setting aside, previously, and do this together. Yeah. Setting aside beliefs is absolutely essential to the acquisition of real awareness. Yeah, all is good. Yeah.
Yes, all is good, darling child. See, I have all sorts of nicknames for you, Beena. I don't
Hearing
think you
is
hear
based.
half of what I say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure, but okay. Take your word for it.
Okay. Hearing is based on connecting deliberately to the awareness. Hearing is based on connecting deliberately to the awareness of impact. Yes, yes. Capital H hearing and helping without helping is all based on awareness. Yes. We need to get out of the typical helping bubbles. Yes. We need to be able to see beyond what we now know. Yes. We too will be learning and growing alongside the client. Of course, it's a rapid growth. Yes.
Yes, yes.
You'll be constantly open to more. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think in this case they italicize them more. It's like this is an extra emphasis point on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got a little alien dog in the corner there.
Yes. Indian dog. Kind of Chinese. See the
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah,
Stretch upward.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Heavy cheeks.
It's trying to
Thin
steal the
mustache.
heart.
Thin mustache.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a little alien. Never mind the dog's just an alien. A heart stealing alien.
Okay, you will be developing your personal skills and abilities such as capability, patience, discernment, understanding, insight, observation, and more.
Yes.
Receptivity to making sense of matter is essential. Matters is essential.
Mm.
Receptivity to making sense of matters is essential. Yes,
You
exactly.
can put a
Yes.
comma after matters if you want.
Hmm.
It does read a bit easier. Yeah.
Hearing is an affair for much more than just the ears.
Oh, it's an affair. Oh dear.
Oh, it's an excellent analogy.
It's a zombie affair. That's what it is.
Hearing is an affair for much more than just ears. Yes. Okay.
Well, if you're a zombie, maybe your ears have fallen off already. So there has to be more than just the ears. You don't have any ears left.
Has to be.
Has to be exactly.
All your senses and perception abilities to capture H here. You use all your senses and perception abilities
Yeah, yeah.
to hear. Yes, this is
Right. And here
hearing.
Sue was saying we hear the client's intents. She wanted an essay. No, we hear the
Oh,
client's intent, their motives. It's the overall intent, but yes, their motives are a plural. So yeah. Oh, what happened now?
searching for something.
Ah,
What what our participants look like after this capital H
all right.
hearing.
But do me a favor, go back to your search and just hit
See,
backspace.
see,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
see.
go back to the search and the
Mhm.
to the page where the search is. Page one page back now, and
Yeah.
then click in the box at the end. No, no, no. Go up to the search. Click in the box at the end. Hit backspace. Hit backspace, then enter.
And now?
You two backspaces, just one. Control Z. Now hit enter. Got to follow instructions
Yeah.
precisely, Beena. Ah,
See? See?
ah. Well, okay.
No.
All right. Well. Okay. Try take out then the ear.
No. Come on.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you got something. Yeah, you got something. Hey, a picture of me too, Beena. Oh, it's pretty close. Don't you think? Could be me.
Come on.
Really?
Uh,
Oh. All right. All right. All right.
I will add two slides now. First, Sil wants us to be a zombie like this after this course. Second, what we all look like after this capital H hearing course.
What we actually end up looking like.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
We hear the client's intent, their motives, if they have a particular agenda.
Right. Now you with me why I'm saying intent here as not as intense, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's important to that contextual difference. It's an important, ability to be able to perceive in that way. It is a bit off center this one because of the
Why?
roses. So, yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Because you have more roses on the right hand side than the left. Otherwise, you can have that bit of open space at the gap. So it is a bit off center. So to the left, it's a bit biased.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, brilliant. Bina likes it. Oh, brilliant. It's a genie coming out of that vase, Bina. Those aren't
Yeah.
flowers. That's a genie. Jinn, right? You call them jinn, not genies, right?
Yeah. Gin,
Jinn,
gin.
jinn, jinn.
Yeah, we have a whole chapter in
I
Quran.
know. It's amazing. It's amazing. Magic in the Quran. Yeah, yeah.
It is not magic. It is it's just awareness. Yes, you are a noble species, but there are other beings also.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like jinns, they are made of fire, and like angels, they are made of light. So, and other also. Other. So, it is just about awareness. You're not the only one, and why you are a noble species because you are privileged. You have awareness.
Interesting. And you live in Pakistan with the other nobles, the land of the impeccable.
Okay, making sure the story adds up and getting to the truth is critical. Making sure the story adds up and getting to the truth is critical.
Mm.
Okay. Unhooking from the fix and advice mindset is imperative.
Abina, your reading was appropriate there. So it's make sure the story adds up, comma, and then get rid of and. So, or
Yes.
get rid
I
of
was
and first and then add the comma, then your backspaces. You can do 4 backspaces and a comma. You start at the D. Now, if you start at the D, now you have to do a space, a right space. But I will. You see, it reads better now, right? Making sure the story
yes.
adds up, getting to the truth is critical.
Yes. Okay. Unhooking from the fix and advice mindset is imperative. We hear rhythm and pattern, which includes cadence, flow, continuity, balance. We listen for coherence. Paying explicit attention to context is essential as we need to hear in all contexts.
Yes, it's very important, Vina. That's very important. On Sherry, by the way, I want to really, really make an effort next time that Sherry's on, which is tomorrow morning, to 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 let to practice capital H hearing with her really profoundly, in the sense that to prompt her to go over the thing that she's going. Okay, come at it from a different angle. Share some more. What do you think? How do you figure? What's your solution? And really get her to be doing the figuring out. We tend to provide Sherry with lots of answers, or at least I do. And
Right. I don't know why, but suddenly yesterday I feel that because she actually surprised me uh, when she was sharing about she chose to drive and her daughter was
Yeah,
a bit
yeah,
upset with her. So I was like, my mind was jumping to conclusion when she said, "Oh, she was upset." And I said, "Why she was upset? Oh, might be because oh she had to drive and all that." No, but her daughter was upset just because that she was not careful of handling the boxes because of this COVID and all these things.
mm,
And then she says that, oh, when you have to break the rule, it has to be fun. But it was not. Okay. And her sugar down, her sugar was getting down low, and
yeah, yeah,
all these things, all were not what I was expecting. There was nothing big in that. But
yeah,
when I realized that Sherry is the most profound opportunity to learn from.
yeah,
Yes, Sue, she's sharing her, like really magical takeaways and feedbacks. Yes, Erica in a different way. Oh, she is. But and all others also. But with Sherry, like she is in a
yes,
total new
yes. It's the
dimension.
most alien psychology.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So for yesterday, I realized and I said, oh no, now this from now on, I will pay more
yes,
attention.
yes, Beena. That's new nobility perspective right there. That's why I have time for her in not because well also attunement so that's
Now from now on, it is decided for me that I will pay really excuse attention and due respect.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting, Olivia used to be a housemate with Sherry, and at that time, Sherry was, you see, in the beginning, how she was, very self-absorbed, very inconsiderate, very unaware, etc. And when she left there, Sherry just decided, right? She was kind of a rent exchange thing. But she got lots of value, but she needs cash, You see how she is with money, right? So she couldn't
Mhm.
have this idea that no somebody there for the value. Like, she's got those spaces up there. If she had half a brain in her head, she'd invite me to stay in one of them, put
Yeah.
in the shower. It's just so, but anyway, um, but it doesn't, anyway. Um, so Olivia, left, but she stayed friends and connected, and they go out and hang out. She stayed a friend with Sherry. And I said to Elena a couple of times, I said, why? You don't really get anything out of it. And it's a one sided friendship, and there's a drainage on it. So it's interesting, because Olivia never connected and related to Sherry in this way, and still, I mean, Sherry takes a lot of work. And Olivia says that too, but yet she stays friends. So she has other friends that are even more work than this, and she doesn't get anything out of these friends. And the thing is, it's one thing if you're coming at it from the perspective that we're coming from now. And yes, we're seeing exactly, but Olivia just they bother her, and she complains about them. They do this, they that, and she points out there. It's like I don't get it. If you're seeing if they're bothering you and you focus on the BMN side or the BS side or whatever, the selfish side, the lack of psychology side, then don't be friends with these people, right?
So
It's one thing Sherry is a client, it's another thing Sherry is a friend, right?
yeah, yes. Generally, when it happens, most of the time, it is because the person is in denial state of mind. He or she is denying something really profound, and then they just try to achieve something like, okay, the realness or moreness from people who they are already aware they don't have it, but it is just an ego thing that they just keep doing that, and it's a denial, some sort of denial when person become friends with. I was in that state
So
too.
who's in denial? You gonna say Livia was in denial? Is
Olivia,
that what you mean?
Olivia, Olivia.
Denial of? I'm not quite following the logic here yet, but I feel you're going somewhere. So I'm hearing
Denial
you.
of some sort of reality. She is just denying that. Because it is okay. And
The
I'm
reality is that her relationship with Sherry and her other friends is essentially the same relationship as she has with me, but she's denying that. So,
hmm.
so she looks for a relationships in which she has the role that I have in our relationship to bolster her because she feels put down, put upon, same as what's happening with Donna. She just has the comparison thing, and she's hypersensitive to what I say, and she thinks what I say is a criticism of her when it wasn't. Nothing to do with her. It would happen with Olivia on a regular basis. All the
So,
time. It was just
so
permanent.
do you feel that? But
I
is
feel
there
sad
any
about it.
is there any hierarchy between a bottle and a glass?
Oh, not to me. But the bottle might think so. And the glass might think so. They're
No,
both thinking.
but do you feel that really?
No,
No, there is no hierarchy. They just have their own roles. But
right,
yes, to be filled by a bottle, a glass needs to be empty. To receive, to be receptive. That's it.
I
They
agree.
have to accept that. But this, why it is a big deal? If a person has something and you can see the onus, you can actually feel the onus. Just accept that you don't have this. Otherwise, how can you get that? Like, come on.
And what bothered me is, I would sing Olivia's Mourner's praises and, focus on it and pay attention to it. I celebrated her Mourners, but, at the same token, when things came up for discussion about learning and growing, the moment anything came to a point where it needed learning and growing, that was taken as criticism. How are you going
But
to
she
grow?
no, but she mentioned that you were criticizing, or at least okay, not criticizing. The word was just mentioning like okay, even mentioning sometimes becomes some sort of criticism.
That's
If
my
if
point. But that's all in the ear.
no, but she says that you
I know,
mentioned
I know,
he's
I
she's
know,
he's
I know.
older than you,
I never mentioned that.
and her age is now becoming obvious on her face.
I never said to anybody ever that she's older than me. It's so totally irrelevant to me. I never ever mentioned that to anybody. That's fascinating. Wow. Now that's really intriguing. This is, but again, just denial and justification. When things don't go and the awful truth is there, you look for something that is in some way a justification. Gosh, I don't look at beauty and moreness and things like that. Like I'm not going to be so shallow as to be concerned about that. It never even was a thought to me. Never ever. Somebody had asked me about it, maybe then I would, they'd said, "Oh, how old are you? How old are you, Olivia?" Then I would say, but I never brought it up to anybody. Never.
Even okay, so if
You
I
never heard me
am,
talk about it, right?
just suppose that if I am older than you, okay, I am.
You
So
are
what? Okay, so what?
exactly.
So
I know it
what?
never was an issue to me. That's why I'm surprised, but I'm not totally surprised, Veena, because Olivia at the time was not rational. She's looking for things to justify the awful truth. The awful truth is that what she wants is a relationship with me, but she also doesn't want it. She wants it in this square circle way. She wants a relationship with me to learn and grow, but she doesn't want to acknowledge that she needs to learn and grow. So it's an impossibility. And she realizes this. And she realizes that basically the opportunity that she's been, trying to square circle her way into for 30 years is now going away. So now she has to find a legitimate reason that isn't her fault. The fact that we don't have the relationship that I wanted and that she wants is all her doing. None of it is mine. I bent over backwards and did absolutely everything I possibly could to make it work. And she knows this. So now she has to find a reason that is like a legitimate reason that I don't want to. Oh, she's older than me and it's starting to show on her face. And now, when we don't even have a physical relationship and we haven't had for whatever 20 years or something, it's like, why would this now be a relevant issue all of a sudden? Our relationship in the last couple of years has been such that I was free to go and be with anybody. She was free to be with anybody. She was with Gabriel, for heaven's sake. So it's like, it just, when you start to think about it, it makes no sense. But it does make sense when you, like you said, when people are in denial and they don't want to face an awful truth. The awful truth is that she's missed a great opportunity. She knows it. Look, like when she said, I mention things, and then that mentioning is a criticism. Well, if you yourself saying I'm mentioning it and you take it as a criticism, well, where's the problem? You know, the problem is in the hearing, not in the communicating, not in the broadcasting, right? It's in the receiving of it, not in the sending of it. Yeah.
Somehow this slide, I just make it like really. mm,
What about it, Beena?
It makes no sense that why these flowers of this style and here the thing is like this.
Why
It's
not?
no sense. I don't know. I just
Well,
made it like
and
we have
just
a
trust,
word in
trust.
Urdu. It is bakwas.
It is what? Bagwas?
Bakwas.
Wow, that just sounds like, back asswards.
It, it, it is like really vague or something.
Ah,
Bakwas.
it looks fine to me, Beena. It's all good.
It is just fine. It is not
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Again, you gotta have a few boring ones to make the others look nice. Wow, almost 2 million cases in the United States.
Okay.
100,000 deaths in United States. 111, so 400,000 deaths. So 25% of the world's deaths are in United States, which has 5% of the world's population.
People are saying that in Italy, yeah, did some research and against the WHO resolutions. Um, what resolution? Yeah, yes. They still postmortem those dead bodies, and they are saying that it is a bacteria.
It's not a
Actually,
virus.
yeah, it's not a virus; it's a bacteria, and it clots the blood. That's why the sudden deaths on the street, people were just moving and suddenly they collapse and die on the spot. It was because of clotting.
Oh,
So they are saying that. So I don't know. I don't trust these
yeah,
people immediately.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yes,
nowadays you can't
also,
trust anything pretty much.
yeah, so that's why I don't trust that. But
Hmm.
still looking forward.
Well, it may be that somebody took the opportunity just to do a little bit of purging, you know,
Yeah, so
and
that's why I
amongst all these deaths, this is an ideal opportunity to do some, assassinations with germ warfare. With, like, the Russians have used some, chemicals, nerve agents, stuff like this, that does this. So
and now China is actually already have built buildings in Ladakh. Can you imagine? It, this is the most surprising thing for me. India
it's
didn't even
opportunism. It's in opportunism.
no, but India even didn't respond in just a verbal, appropriate verbal way.
Yeah,
They just took it over and they just and the army actually they were trying to communicate like or negotiate with them and suddenly they said okay we are going and they just leave the area. They left really.
yeah.
Yeah, see, and now okay, India is again claiming that they are going to do some surgical strikes in Pakistan, which they might try to. But okay, so the war is might be on us. This time things are different, so let's see. But anyway,
Fascinating.
every new understanding makes resolution obvious to all. Yes, we hear the awful truth and the awesome truths which are avoided. We never tell the client anything. We hear what is said about others as insight into the client themselves. We set aside all beliefs and ideas, all expectations and assumptions so we can be open to the more.
Mm.
We feel the client, feel past them, feel the more that comes if we are open. We make an effort to pay attention to the implications and consequences. This is important, and why it is just
So now in Minneapolis, where the Floyd thing happened, the city council is making moves to disband the police department. Then what's going to happen? I mean, I'm assuming they're going to reband it soon enough, but you're going to have a whole bunch of untrained people. I can tell you now what's going to happen. All those same people that are protesting George Floyd, all of his community and all of that, I'm sorry, but, all those people who are rioting and breaking into the stores, they're going to go crazy when there's no police department.
yes.
You're going to see a nice crime wave like you've never seen before. This is one thing in America. There's opportunism. Same with those riots. Whenever there's marches and that, people take the opportunity to go rioting. It's not unexpressed anger. That's just opportunism, man. You loot the guy's store. Who loses? The store owner. No, government doesn't care. The police department doesn't. No skin off their back. You know, you're not. You're not actually doing anything against the people that you're protesting against. So of course it's just opportunism.
Wow, Veena.
It's a little too wide, that one, no? Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
I did that. No, you did it right. I was just trying to.
Uh, it can go again, can go a little left, yeah. These last two can both be, but not center, but left. Yeah, a little left of center. Yeah, there you
This one also?
go. The bottom one also, a little bit, yeah. There we go.
Okay. I will redo this slide maybe.
Oh, it's fine, Beena. No, we got other stuff to do. Got 30 more in the next session, so.
We can never forget. We can be totally wrong. How can we ever forget? You are here. You just remind us, keep reminding us, imposing this.
Yes, when you
It
look in the
is
mirror and you see a zombie, you say, "Oh, I was wrong."
it is engraved in our soul now.
Right? When you look in the mirror and you see the zombie, you say, that was a mistake. I was wrong. Whatever I did.
Please stay humble. Oh no, we don't have even a spine. We crawl.
Well, exactly.
Awareness,
See, stay humble.
awareness is an interactive and reflective. Awareness is interactive and reflective. Okay. We
Yes.
use our awareness deliberately. Yes. We stay outside all bubbles to hear. No, we cannot be outside all bubbles. We can just try to be outside at least some specific bubbles.
Oh, I love this Virgo discernments from Beena here. Slowly but surely, Beena is being transformed not into a zombie but a Virgo. That's the real transformation. Yes, yes.
And
I love it.
to
I
see
love it.
what is going on. Like really, we stay outside all bubbles, and you are just making it all caps, all bubbles. No,
We
we
do
cannot.
try, but yeah, but we won't say try. We'll
Okay,
just assume it can happen. We'll be very
okay.
optimistic and very
Capital P
positive.
patient is integral to capital H hearing. Yes, making space for what comes to come to us is vital.
Making space for what comes to come to us is vital. I love how you're balancing the stuff, Beena. Oh, gives me great joy, Beena. Gives me great joy to see you do this. It's so exquisite and beautiful, Beena, what you do. Really beautiful. I can't wait to meet you, Beena. I haven't met you yet, you know that? I know we had that brief thing on video, but I truly can't remember. I truly can't remember. So it'll be like meeting you for the first time, you know that? But knowing you really well as well. So
Ah,
I'm
so
a
it's
must win.
so you are already playing with all the vases.
Yeah, only the two, only this one and this one. Yeah, I liked how this one came. I thought it came out. I matched the color to the vase. You see the flower to
Oh
the
yes,
vase, right? Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Capital H hearing is premised on our impeccability and honesty. All of what we are and what we do is built on separate ethics.
Mm.
Making a space for timing is what? Capital
Wait.
H hearing
So can
comes
you read the
from
previous one again? I didn't hear.
making a space for timing is what?
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Making a space for timing is vital, right?
Yeah?
Making a space for timing is vital.
No, no.
I have to tease you, Beena. I don't know why it comes in, but it does. It's beautiful. I so love it, Beena. It's so sweet and cute. I love it. All right. Before I go off too much over here and get distracted.
Capital H hearing comes from heart. Yeah. We keep in mind reasons may be completely hidden and or unknowable and utterly random at times. The full application of capital H hearing leads to independence of being. Independence of being automatically leads to the ability to capital H hear. Uh, 4. Whoops. So, and you will need to cloud this.
Now I wonder if this, I'm looking at the just the headlines. I have the sound off there on MSNBC, and it says calls grow to defund the disband police. To me, I can only see this originating in one source: Putin's agents. This is a perfect time to start showing this idea. And idiots in the street, because there are plenty idiot Americans. I'm sorry, but they are. All the Trump followers and all these people, and all those opportunists, the ones who do the looting and all that. Of course, they're gonna jump on the bandwagon. Oh, this is a great idea, and you're gonna have chaos, and you're destabilizing this country. You know, um, Putin does a lot of things to destabilize stuff all over the world, and it's like he's got the massive opportunity to do it in America. It's man, he's just messing up America left, right, and center. It's amazing, and people don't see it. Some sort of do, but yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. All right, carry on, Bina. Ah, nice, nice, Bina. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice, gorgeous Bina. Hey, you're moving my heart. You touch my heart, Bina. Touch my heart.
You need that space.
Yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. Oh, you touch my heart again. Hello, hello, Bina. Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, now it has gotten a bit. Yeah. Special
This is the
script.
last slide before the. So read this one quickly, Beena.
Yeah. I'm just making it
Oh,
a bit more.
yeah,
What we have.
nice. Yeah, and then the top text box can go up a little bit too.
Okay. This.
No, the text box.
Yes, I know.
I see. Sorry, Beena. You know what you can do to make a bit of space is, yeah, is take your graphic and put it on the left and then duplicate it on the right. You see what I mean?
We can even just delete that. We don't need that really.
Sure.
It is actually
Sure.
crowding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I agree. I agree.
See,
Yeah, yeah,
now we can go a bit up.
yeah. A bit up. Yeah, yeah. Fantastic, Beena. Fantastic. There you go. All right. Perfect. 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 Brilliant and marvelous and magical and beautiful and wonderful. So, now come narrower with it for that big box at the bottom, so that then a skill fills up. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now center it. Yeah, yeah. Now it's nice. Is it centered yet? I didn't see the
Yes.
yellow line.
Mm.
I don't know. I didn't see the yellow line come up. So
Mm.
there it is. There. All right. Perfect. Uh, boom, 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 boom.
Okay. This session is a huge, huge session. The course in itself, and absolutely critical to so incredibly much, much more
There was a full stop
than.
there. To so incredibly much. Full stop, Beena. You got to read that full stop.
Okay, this session is a huge, huge session, a course in itself, and absolutely critical to so incredibly much. Much more even than its a specific application to helping without helping. Hmm. The tasks and exercises are many. Do them slowly and thoroughly. This is essential. Don't even look at the next slide of task until you are done with the slide you are currently on. Your intent is to break lifelong habits.
I
It's
had
essential.
Sue. I had Sue in brackets there behind that con. I took it out.
Expectations and beliefs. Do the exercises and tasks one at a time. Set yourself now to be in a space to be aware that doing this task and exercises will take a good amount of time. Understand, this is vitally necessary to provide time for you to truly acquire the superpower of capital H hearing. Because that is what is hearing is. What hearing is.
Because that
Because
is
that
what
is
hearing
what
is. That's
hearing
right. That's
is.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It's much, much, much more than a skill.
Yes.
It's a life
Capital M more.
transformative.
Capital M more.
All
It's much,
oh
much,
no.
much more. It can go either way, but capital M. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Beena.
Life transformative superpower.
Yes, it is. All right. What's next?
Superpower without space?
Without space. I spell it that way. It's just a thing to me that I make it. Called patience a superpower, so it makes them a bit special.
Oh,
So
all is good.
what's next? All is good.
Yes.
Yes. What's next? What's next?
And session two. In your own words, write out in detail what capital H hearing means to you and how you envision its application. Share some examples of where you were in a
Okay, so
conversation and what.
Beena, sorry, just as we do these, instead of just reading the next one, because then we're just reading it, take a moment to kind of think about the tasks. You know what I mean? So now consider if you were to do this, what you would, like, we
Okay,
just
no,
if you
but
were actually going to do it
okay,
yourself, that consideration, just a few minutes of thought to say, oh, I'm going to do it
but
this way,
but
do that way.
but sir, it will take too much time. But just for now, we can do that, and then we can come back to the
I
task.
mean, literally, to take 3, 4 seconds to think about it.
Okay. Okay. In your own words, write out in detail what capital H hearing means to you and how you envision its application.
Right. I mean, do you see yourself being able to do this task? That's kind of the thing that I'm saying.
Oh, so for me,
Yeah,
it is
let's just
the
talk about
most.
that.
It is the not most. Okay, I can say that this is capital S serving. This is capital S service is. So, capital H hearing means to me is paying due respect. It is capital S service. It
Wow.
is it is sharing love. Yeah.
Wow. Yes,
Okay.
Pete. Yes. Oh, I can't tell you how happy that makes my heart. That's really just, oh, dear. So beautiful.
Share some examples of where you were in a conversation and you were practicing capital H hearing and what all happened.
It's the
Oh,
example
oh,
that she could do with Hortensia, but she wasn't really in a conversation.
yeah. So in conversation, this is really tricky. That okay, it's not like oh, I can mute myself and I can listen. No, in a conversation,
Yeah.
practicing capital
So
H
I
hearing.
said where you were witnessing an interaction. So she has to wait for those where I said where you were observing an interaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This next one, see if you can make it, keep it in 3 lines, but make it narrower and see if it will go narrower and stay in 3 lines. I don't know if it can, but we'll see.
This one.
Then now the third one.
Okay.
You see, because it's touching the side, so nah, you have to go slowly. To bring the earring onto the next line, what happens? Go one tick in, and now it jumps to four. It can't go. It can't go. There,
Okay.
there,
Now.
there, there, there it did. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I was hoping for. You see, it's just a little less crowded than it was before. Still a bit, but okay, it can't be helped. Okay.
Yeah. So what Morris did you perceive when hearing someone you didn't know particularly well that you didn't perceive in them before?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yes, oh
That
yes.
could apply to her listening to Hortensia, but that would
Mm,
be
and listening
part
to
of
K
it.
also.
What's that?
Listening to K also.
Hmm. Hmm. But I mean, for Sue, with her, I'm thinking of Sue and her exercise. When I said she must listen to herself while listening to somebody, while hearing them, she must hear herself. So I didn't make that as as an exercise that I can remember. So the implications of that exercise. You could use it for this fourth one. Provide some examples of implications you connected to wire hearing. That one must go up just a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, she could apply that, because remember when she was listening to Hortensia, I said, come and hear Hortensia, but make the exercise and make your notes about hearing yourself and what was going on inside of yourself. So that's it. Yeah, provide some examples of implications you connected to wire hearing. So there she could use that. But it's not the exact exercise, but that's asking.
Okay. Well, for me, what moreness did you perceive when hearing someone you didn't know particularly? Yeah. I even didn't knew Sue. So for me, everyone,
Oh
I
yeah,
can
oh
I can
yeah,
share
oh yeah. I mean,
anything
we've been
about
doing this
you.
from day go.
Yeah.
It's part of what you and me and then Donna, we talked about this all the time. So
Provide some examples of implications you connected to via hearing. Yes. Okay. Yes. This one needs to. Uh,
oh, oh, oh. I love how you tweak the things and professionalize them and just your exquisiteness, Beena. Really. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be complaining about Olivia. I don't know how it came up. Um,
no, it
it's
was a.
just I just release the sadness. I feel it every now and then, and I'm not truly sad, but I could be more sad. I don't get lost in that
For
sadness.
me, it is
Now
really
Paul is going
surprising.
crazy with these things. Now he's posting things that are they reading obscure text from the Bible. It's just like, what the hell, Paul?
Oh, just. Okay, I'm just asking for a favor. Just give him a bit more space. Like,
I do,
okay.
I do, I do. I think the zombie's got his brain already. It's like, seriously.
Okay, share an example of a problem you were dealing with and how it was all unclear in the beginning, but as you expressed it, this will क्या हुआ?
This is Paul.
नहीं
Stuff
नहीं
from
मैंने
reading the.
आपकी आवाज
Oh, are you talking to me, Nudu?
no
Oh, I
come
thought
on.
you were saying like, oh, what the heck? So, what on earth are you sharing with me here? But this is readings from the Bible, Old Testament stuff.
Okay, share unclear in the beginning, but as you expressed it and talked about it and kept going, how it become clearer. Pay attention to how your thinking was different to what you were saying. Pay attention to what's going on with you next time. You have a problem with someone listening. What did you
Oh,
need to happen?
oh, wait. I gotta see what you're talking about. Yeah.
How exactly did you come to awareness? What exactly helped you? What bothered you from the listener? What interfered with you coming to understanding? Do you feel heard? Is this important to you?
To you?
Mm, seriously, like you're asking, okay, what bothered you from the listener
Yeah.
or what interfered with you
Right.
coming to
So
understand?
it's first share an example of a problem you were dealing with and how it was all unclear in the beginning, but as you expressed it and talked about it and kept going, how it became clearer. So you sharing an example where you had the problem and you were talking to somebody, and then as you kept talking, it became clearer, right? That's the example we have to say. Okay. Pay attention to how your thinking was different to what you were saying. Right? Have to go over that. So, when we were talking with Sue about what was the therapy thing that we resolved, I can't even remember. We resolved something in the therapy, and there would be, this would be an
What you
example.
feeling hurt, and the child, problem with the child.
With having children, you mean?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah. And then you see, what did you need to happen? Okay, well, you needed to be heard. Were you heard? Yes. How exactly did you come to awareness? Well, you kept talking until it came. What exactly helped you? Keeping going, coming at it from different angles, different perspectives. What bothered you from the listener, or what interfered with you coming to understanding? Well, hopefully nothing. We're very good listeners here. But she could give other examples. Okay, not in that case maybe, but other times,
okay.
people kept interrupting me. They kept making suggestions, and they kept assuming stuff that wasn't accurate and nonsense like that. You see, Umesh, what's Umesh up to?
He says, "Can you call me? Can we talk on phone tonight?"
This is, and in the universities you read different subjects at the same time. So any optional strategy to make any combination. What is he talking about here?
Who?
Umesh. Well, this is on June 2. You didn't respond to
Oh,
his
oh,
message.
oh. No, I mean, we
Just
talked about
ignore him.
that.
Oh,
No, no, no. I have questions. If I need a subject,
how come he spells Beena with an H? Beena.
yeah, you call me sister.
Oh, that's not your name. Oh, that's sister. Oh, interesting. Oh,
It's okay. You can say that kind of a pet name for sister when we say that. Oh,
an
it's a,
endearment, in other words, like saying sis.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
And what
So
the heck
he
is at
calls
the
me.
bottom there? Apkoshis gringri key. What does
He
it say
says,
there?
"आप कोशिश करेंगी आज बात करने की? Today, can you try to talk?" So it was like, yeah.
Sorry.
No, I will. I will.
Come on, zombie time. I can't be talking to no regular peoples. What did Hina? Oh, she's a missed
In
voice.
a risk. In a risk.
Beena got so many friends. Wow. I feel
Okay.
privileged, Beena. I really and truly feel privileged. But Beena, it's the same thing with just for me that I always to enjoy Lydia's friends. Having the friends. Not that they needed to be my friends. I'm interested in being friends with her friends. But I just loved that she had friends, even if they were, to me, you know, not the most ideal friends. I always thought, come on, just relative to who and where you are. But nonetheless, I enjoyed that she had friends. Hey, what's going on? So,
I'm just trying to check. Ooh. I'm just trying to check that where the center is. The line is
yeah,
not.
I know. It bothers me sometimes. There we
Yeah.
go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, it's strange how that works. It doesn't come up right away. But truly, I enjoy that you enjoy your friends, Mina. It's very important. It's very important. Listen, I'm trying. It's like to see you happy, Mina. I don't really, some people they always have to have it just for themselves. And no, man, come on. How insecure are you when you have independence of being? You just like seeing somebody being happy. No matter how they get happy from you, from others. What difference does it make, right? That's why I enjoy you talking on the phone, Mina. It gives me great joy to hear you. I don't care if I can hear what you know what you're saying. I hear you happy, like when you were talking to Bassett.
Yeah.
I
Why
don't know.
and
It's
how
just so
why and how exactly is hearing itself helping? Okay. Next time you are in a conversation or interaction, pay attention to what you are constantly trying to do.
there's the exercise.
Hmm.
All right, keep going.
From a more abstract overview perspective, look at what the motives are behind
Oh,
what you are trying to
okay.
say.
No, never mind. She wasn't saying anything
Are you trying to look clever? Be clever? Oh, yes.
there.
Are you trying to appear helpful? Yes. Because this makes you look like a good person? Absolutely. Or prove you are a good person? Absolutely, yes.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, definitely. Are you worried the person may come to resolution without you? No.
Yes.
I
How
know
dare they? How dare they? How dare they come to a resolution without me? I'm here
never
to help them. Come on now. It's got to come from me. I'm the helper.
this thing actually never even comes to my mind that oh this might happen. No, come
I
on,
know,
like
I know, I know.
but
So
yes,
many
I'm a
times.
good person. Yes. I
Yeah.
want people to think about me in a good way. Yes.
Yes.
It proves that
Yeah,
okay
but
when
but you're not
yeah.
you're not seriously there saying, are you trying to
Oh
appear
no no.
helpful? Because okay,
Oh no. I was just teasing that. But
I was
this
gonna
thing
say,
even never comes to my mind that okay
yeah,
they might come to resolution without me.
yeah.
So are you concerned you may
It's a good point though.
forget?
It's a subtle point, but when you think about it, okay, it may never have occurred to you, but it will
Yeah.
occur to
Yeah.
some people. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
they will think
Are you
about
concerned you may forget what you want to say?
it.
And if
I
you
know
do
it's
forget,
true.
what difference would it make, if any? Uh,
Okay, I do
yes,
know that
in
you've had concerns that you may forget what you want to say,
yeah,
and that
yeah, this is what.
yeah, right.
Let,
But now
let
the
me
key
check.
is, if you do forget, what difference has it made?
Okay, listen.
Hmm.
What was the thing?
Oh, you forgot
Yes,
what you were
I
gonna
was.
say.
I was feeling that, and that was the thing. That oh, sometimes I simply oh my god, the point is out of my mind.
Mm.
But I was saying that, and it was really important, and okay, it seems to me, but I was thinking that. So it was before capital H hearing, practicing capital H hearing. Okay, but even in that, I feel that oh my god, I have to listen it to for more than 2 hours now, and just keeping everything in my mind. Unless or until I do not interact with other person. Okay, it is like, okay, my mind works in that way. Okay, so I need interaction, but now I have to just keep it in my mind. So Beena, how it will be there, uh, like forever. When this word comes to my mind, that it needs to be forever,
Mm.
I said, oh my God, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal because I might never said this to that person. So means no specific interaction might happen on on this topic, yeah, on this point. So how it can be stay in my mind forever? Okay.
Oh.
Now I start talking self-talk about that.
Mm.
So I start interacting about that, or counter argument and argument about that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a concern. Yes,
So you were concerned that if you remembered your questions or something that you needed to say, that it would stay in your mind forever?
yes,
Wow.
yeah,
And
because
now
the interaction.
you set it to,
It's
you set the intent to just remember it temporarily?
no, nope. Now I just start interacting in my mind, like okay, Bina one, Bina two, Bina one said this, Bina two said this.
Oh, wow. 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 So we don't have client one and client two, we got Beena one and Beena two.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
because when you interact with someone on a specific topic, it never goes out of mind. For me, at least.
Yeah.
But if you just think about this, oh no, it can go.
Yeah. Brilliant,
Can you
Beena.
try to make it broader,
No, it's
or is
fine
it
like it
okay?
is. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Smooth.
I tried to fiddle with that one and it didn't want to go anywhere, so it is already maxed. So this one too. It can't change shape in any way. But it can go up a bit now that you've made that end session two up there. So
See, space.
right. But this is a big deal. People do get concerned about forgetting what they want to say.
Of
And
course.
and because their mind is thinking about forgetting, they can't pay attention.
Yes. Okay. If you are concerned about forgetting what you want to say, forgetting key points which are actually needed, practice making notes of keywords only. Just a word or two to jog your memory later. Pay particular attention to associating the keywords with the rest of your thoughts as you note it down. Practice this in.
In.
Practice this
Yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. I should mention here too, Beena. Yeah, your spelling is set to American because you see, practice is I have a British, so
Mhm.
this in practice this in any conversation. Yeah.
And also while watching TV or a movie.
I should note here,
Practice.
practice making those notes without looking at the paper.
Ah, ah. Oh,
Because
come
it's
on.
just one word. It's just one
Now
word.
you, okay, now you only don't want us to be a zombie, but you also want zombie acrobat.
Zombie acrobat. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say, okay, I'm trusting I'm gonna be caught, and then you catch the arms, and then you see the person falling with two arms, towards the falling down, holding two arms from the zombie because they pulled
Oh,
him right out of the socket, right?
seriously. That's an any conversation.
Zombies and acrobats don't go together. Nope, nope, nope.
But this is what you are doing.
Oh, too funny, too funny,
And
too funny.
also while watching TV or a movie. Practice associating your thoughts with a word, even with something like bending a finger to remember each point.
You
Yes.
see
Oh,
me do this, right, Bina? Yeah, what I'm showing
yeah.
now, and I do this. That's what
No.
I'm doing.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing there. Sorry, I didn't mean to bang my mic. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Pay attention to how much difference it actually makes. If you don't say
If you don't say what pops up in you, yeah,
what
don't
pops
say.
up in you,
Yeah.
notice how it either comes back or something else comes, which is even more relevant and pertinent. But most of all, pay attention to how little, if anything, you actually need to say. Share your
Need to say.
experiences. Yeah, need to say.
Mm.
Share your experiences with this. Okay, so uh, this thing is, yes, it is good that we have to practice capital P patience and power pause here, because mostly our instant thing is just out of feelings. Oh, I feel sad because the person was sharing something traumatic or tragic or sad, so I just get influenced by that, and I feel that, oh, I need to say something. If I say something, this is going to be absolutely influenced by that temporary feeling bubble, yeah, not a real thing. So that's why I said that, okay, oh, it is really uh, it secures us from not getting it involved and affected by these type of influences like psychological, emotional, and all these things. So it is good. But yes, the other point, practicing it, making notes without looking at papers. Come on, sir. What you want us to do.
You can't do that, really? Really, Beena?
I
Oh,
do that every time.
really? You never look when you write? You just like, really? Wow. Can I see?
Sometimes
Oh,
I
I wish I could
no.
see some of your
Sometimes
things. I want to see
sometimes I
what you.
even don't. I don't make notes. Yeah, I do practice to just keep it in mind and make connections and association with that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that that was only if you can't keep your points in your mind. I don't take the notes. I just remember it. I trust that I remember it. And sometimes, if it's a particularly pertinent point, and the person's going on a long time, then I'll say, okay, point one, point two, point three. So there are times when I could have used notes, would have been handy. So I will remember to do that. Actually, I've got clipboard right here and a pen and everything. So where are you reading? Where are you reading? Okay, keep reading. I'm enjoying you going over these tasks, Beena. This is fantastic. This is really a joy.
Further, next time you are in an interaction where someone is sharing to get clarity and resolution, look carefully at how trust comes into matters. Observe how trust and patience, when fully applied, led to resolution, and how you actually had to do nothing really. Provide examples of this from your experience. If this is not something which has happened, find someone new to connect with and make a point of interacting by hearing them. And stick with the interaction until the person has found some clarity and resolution. Restrain yourself when it comes to giving advice.
I
Oh
want to
my God.
practice this all of tomorrow, Beena. Really, really practice this with Sherry and with Kay especially. Yes, tomorrow
Instead
we have
of
Erica Jane, so a different interaction, and sure a little bit
Instead
also.
of advice, suggestion, and otherwise helping in the usual ways, what else? For now, can you do or say which will make a difference to your client or another? Hmm.
So, and this is like repeat backs, asking questions, providing
So what
observation.
else? What else needs a question mark there?
Uh, Instead of no, it's a comma. The question mark's at the end of the sentence. Otherwise, you'd have to, if you say what else question mark, then you have to start a new sentence. You see, it
Hmm.
changes the whole grammar of the thing.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So the first one was make a point of interacting by capturing Instagram. Okay, I will try to practice that more. I am doing this
Practice
by
what more?
just listening. This capital H hearing without saying anything at all. I try
Yeah, but
to.
you need to practice other things. You already got that one down. You say too little.
So instead of advice, suggestion, otherwise helping, okay, this one I have. Okay, this thing, advice, suggestion. Sometimes I do this in a subtle way still
I know.
by just
You're
making the
asking
obvious
questions.
obvious and
Well,
asking questions. Yes,
but that's a see.
I,
Instead of advice, suggestions, or otherwise helping in the usual ways, see,
yeah,
there's helping in alternative ways by implication, right? So that's
yeah,
what you're doing. You make the obvious obvious. That's not advice or a suggestion. See,
yeah. Yeah, and also that then in asking questions,
and doing
just
the
asking question
obvious.
is fun.
Yeah,
Is fun, really. It feels like it actually satisfy your creativity.
yeah, yeah,
That how to ask a question,
yeah. Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
let them think, and they feel that, oh, they are giving you an answer, but they are not giving you anything. Of course, they're giving themselves. But and once, like, I ask question, and suddenly I feel in the see in the facial expression that the inner thinking and thought process start happening suddenly, and they think and they say, well, yes, and then but they think more about this. So it's really really amazing. I just love that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Oh,
thank you,
that's
sir.
really cool. Oh, I do say thank you. Sorry, what do you mean?
I say thank you, sir, for
Oh,
introducing
oh,
this.
oh, oh, oh. My pleasure, Beena. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's such a pleasure doing this, you know.
And session 2.
Mm.
What's the difference between
You
finding
know what? The promise of that end session too.
that? I just said that to just remind you what was
But
the
it's so I
end
love it
game.
because that's the thing. You cued me when you said it. I'm like, but no, this is not the end yet. But every time, somebody like Sue, is this the end? Is this the end? No, it's not. No. But it keeps you thinking that it is. One of the things with patience, by the way, is never look at the clock, or at least try not to ever clock watch. This helps your patience inordinately. The moment you start clock watching, you become impatient, and it
Okay.
drags time. So I never look at the clock.
Mm.
I
Oh
can be
yes.
cognizant of the clock, but
Oh
I
yes.
try not to. So,
I know.
yeah, you
You
can
never know.
combine the two, which is, it's a big deal.
Okay. What's the difference between finding a solution to a specific problem and learning how to solve problem? Hmm. What does it matter? Why does it matter? Pay attention to what is going on with you when you have a problem. Share what you do and share what you observe in others in this regard. Yes. Can you simply just be in a good space for as long as it takes to hear someone? Can you maintain your attention? If not, why not? What motivations were underneath your distraction or inability to stay present?
Yeah,
Okay, distractions, yes. Sometimes, like, not
yeah,
no motivation,
but
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 the
but I don't mean
distraction.
distractions that you can ignore, or can't ignore. Your distractions you can't ignore. See, so I'm talking about distractions you can ignore.
Hmm.
Different thing. See, right? Like, distractions like, okay, the TV, or the phone ringing. Can you ignore it? Or Facebook underneath, or whatever. Anything. It's I don't know.
Facebook, no.
But if you have to, you can be there. You
Oh
do
yeah.
that for
Oh
free.
yes. Oh
You're
yes. So I do
maximizing
that.
your time. But
Oh, I just making it fun.
yeah.
But
I mean, I'm
as
assuming, you see, because like with Sue, we kind of in a groove a little bit here. But like on Wednesday when it's with Justin and Elizabeth, then I'm assuming you won't be looking at Facebook while we do that. You'll be paying full 100% attention,
even
right?
even no even when Sue is here, I do listen to. I
I
really.
know. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, then you, like with Justin and Elizabeth, because then you'll be watching their faces and all of this.
Oh yes. Yes.
You'll be really
Yes.
paying.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All
Okay.
right, next one. I like this. I like a Japanese stone there. Very good.
And session 2.
Again.
Why exactly does every individual have to come to awareness by themselves? Why is this so critically necessary? Because
Beena.
they cannot, because they cannot accuse you for anything in future.
Not really, but
Because
okay.
they will not accuse you. Yes.
Beena, is that a separate text box? That first question? If so, it needs to go up and be separated from the italics. It is. Okay, good. So yeah, move it up so it's not connected to the next one. You know, it's a separate task. It looks like it's one task now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. There you
So this is important
go. Mm.
for your safety, for the sake of your future.
Otherwise, I come
No
and turn
one
you
can,
into a zombie.
no one, no one will accuse you for anything. They will
That's true.
do whatever they
I never,
want.
I never, I never thought of that angle of it, but yeah, yeah. No liabilities, no insurance costs. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's Americans, man.
See.
That's a big thing in a lot of American business, being it's
Yeah.
a huge deal, you know, like with the doctor. eh,
Mhm.
your malpractice liability insurance, it is a massive thing. It's unbelievable.
Okay. The key is about no advice and no telling and not telling the client what to do. We are avoiding doing what everyone else does. Why? Yes, because we are smart. Hmm. Share in detail why this is so crucial, even though it seems counterintuitive and contradictory at first. Yeah, because we are smart.
Yeah, that's true. But still,
Yeah,
yeah,
we play safe.
yeah,
See?
yeah. And we're using philosophy of opposite. That's why people always think that if you do things in the opposite way, it's brilliant. Oh, as long as you have enough confidence to sell it, it's actually true. You know, people BS that way. They just turn things upside down and they sell it with a lot of confidence. And say, oh, it must be good because it's like, oh, they're doing it in the opposite way. It's new, it's fresh, it's radical. It's radical. That's what. That's why we do it because it's radical.
Mhm. Okay.
Here's the question, Bina. Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Here's the one for Sue. This third one.
Okay. Engage in an interaction where you are just listening, just hearing what's going on. Focus on what you are learning.
Mm.
What did you learn beyond what was said? What abstract understanding and learning did you come to?
So that's the one, right, Bina? Where she
Yeah.
was listening to, you know, she was hearing herself, you know, and hearing, yeah. But she was, yeah. So it's just about what you are learning, not what about the person.
Okay. And session two. See, there are some people in this world who just keep frauding people
Keep what
by
they
saying that.
Freuding them? Is that what you said? Freuding?
No, keep frauding.
Oh, frauding. I just said Freuding. I thought, man,
No.
that's a cool term. You know, it's like analyzing them. You know, Freuding them. But you know, in a Freudian way, thought it was brilliant. But frauding them, yes, yes, defrauding them.
Can you can you wait? Can you wait without stress? Yes, I can wait. I can just turn down the Zoom and I can wait without stress. Okay. What's going on inside you when you are impatient? Everything. Everything. All sorts of things. Where is your intent, your agenda? In my notebook. I have already noted down.
You know, this
Okay.
notebook thing. People
Hmm.
think that writing it down in the notebook is going to save them. It doesn't. You got to learn to live without the bloody notebook. But anyway,
Okay. So, does your impatience imply you are not fully in the present, not fully accepting responsibility for where you are?
does this, Beena?
Oh, my impatience imply that I am fully present in this situation because I'm aware what is making me impatient here.
Hmm.
What is stressing me?
I don't know. What is stressing you?
What else proof you need, Sil?
What?
What else proof? What another proof you need for me to be completely, fully present in the now? Because I'm feeling impatient. I'm completely aware of the seriousness and boringness of the situation where I have to just listen and listen and listen and say nothing
Wait.
and do nothing.
I just heard what proof do I need? That's where my brain stopped hearing things. It just kind of abandoned everything else. It just went into kind of word salad mush. And you're like, whoosh. That's all I heard. I just said, what other proof do I need? I need you to say it, Beena. That's what proof I need.
I said just imperfect.
To say it in English. Well, Urdu
Mhm.
will do as well. Now that I know what it sounds like in Urdu, so that will work. You can say it in Urdu. I think I'd recognize it. At least I hope so. You could tell me anything, maybe I won't recognize it. But
Okay.
yeah, in
How,
Afrikaans, so that's it.
how come you are not accepting everything is right in the moment? No, no.
You're right. I should accept that.
I,
Sorry, Beena. Okay, I take it
I,
all back. I don't need to hear anything. You're right. Everything is right in the moment. That's true. That's true, Beena. Actually, but I do actually. I accept it's all right. I really do. So I tease about that, but it's really not an issue. And besides, the little
what,
chipmunk in the horrible voice told me so. I'm okay now. It's cured.
what actually happens and changes as a result of your
Yeah,
impatience?
seriously, what actually happens and changes as a result of your impatience? This I want to ask impatient people. How does it benefit you? Next time you're impatient, Bina, I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
Yeah, what actually happens and changes as a result of your impatience? Where's the effectiveness? Make the connection. Cause and effect. Impatience gets you what exactly?
Okay. How is impatience connected to arrogance? No, no. It is not connected to arrogance at all. It is
It's not
connected.
connected to arrogance because it is arrogance.
No, no.
It is, really, it is. Yes. The world must operate according to my timetable. I am the center of the universe.
Can you actually be a phony? No, I
No,
cannot.
no, you can't. Exactly. Never, never. You are much too magical for
Does your impeccability not demand patience? No. My impeccability never demand me to be
that.
more patient.
It
Nope.
should be now. It should. It should. You have to update
No.
your impeccability to include patience.
My impeccability demands appropriateness.
And
That's it.
patience is inappropriate.
Why is
Okay.
capital P patience?
Capital I impeccability. Yes. Thank you.
Why is capital P patience so super important and critical?
It's
Super important and critical to who?
to
To
impeccability
who?
in the previous line. That also needs to be a capital I impeccability.
Yeah. Okay. To who?
To the zombies. Who else did you think? It's amazing. That's a good question. Yeah. Why is capital P patience so super important? Critical to who? Who's it important to? To me. Yeah. It is to my inner magical self. The one that doesn't want to be impatient. Because I just stress when I'm impatient.
Why is capital P patience so okay? Okay. Make a sense. Make a case. Sorry. Make a case justifying your impatience as valid. I can.
Really?
I can.
Let's hear. Let's
Yes.
hear. Let's hear.
No, not
Let's
right
hear.
now. I'm not prepared.
Oh, okay, okay. I can, but not right now.
Yeah.
Brilliant,
Yes.
brilliant.
Much on patience, but without it, none of this is really possible. Or it's going to be. Uh, it, really, it needs to be changed. Needs to
It
change.
needs to
It
what?
needs to.
Needs to change.
Yeah, because it is. It's way down to it.
Oh. Yeah. The only other thing is, Bina, you're gonna have to select all. Oh, I wonder if you can change the text size of multiple text boxes at the same time. The only way
Oh,
you
wait.
can make
No, it's a one box.
no, they're separate lines. Each
No.
one separate. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See.
No. All of the text from can you wait all the way down.
Okay.
So
See.
okay. So now you have to trust me.
No.
Hang on. Each line is a separate box. Beena, get out of this text box so that you're not inside it. Then put your cursor above that U. Okay. Oh, that's one box. The other one's the second box. Oh, really?
Ah.
Oh. Hmm. All right. Well, Beena, click
Mhm.
inside it then. Then this is easy. Okay, click inside it so that we can edit, and then hit Control A. Once you're inside the edit, then hit Control A.
Okay. Just let me try one thing. Then we will see.
Uh, it won't go up high enough, I don't think.
No.
Well, you can move your flowers, but you're still not going to get it up very high, you see. But if you change the text size, then you will. Yeah. So okay, but
Control A.
you gotta click in that big text box so that it's blinking inside that you can edit.
Okay. Now.
Now go Control A.
Yeah.
There you go. And now go to text scale and start lowering it.
This one. Oh, there. Yeah.
No, on the left there. Yeah, text scale. Yeah, you can do it up top there, but yeah,
Yes.
93 probably is gonna be enough. Yeah, 93. Yeah, 93 will do. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, and now I obviously make the bottom one 93 as well. You don't actually have to go Control A. I notice, Beena. Just select the box now. Yeah, you just have to select it. You see, the text scale is up there. You don't have to go inside it even.
Oh, oh yes.
You see? So, yeah, that's kind of. Oh no, you unclicked somewhere. Go back. Oh, did you make the one on Patience 93?
No.
The bottom box must be changed, Beena.
Yes.
Okay.
It's crowding.
Yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Mm, mm. You can just type 93 once it's highlighted, right?
Now we can.
It's good there,
Okay.
isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it's not centered though. I think it's good enough there. You can go up one tick, I think. The whole box can go up again. Now that you moved your flowers, that one can go up there. More? Go up more with it, Peter? Even more? Yeah.
Uh,
Now the bottom box can come up again. Yeah.
okay.
Mm.
That's good.
You know what? You can try the bottom box on one line. Yeah, it'll make it. Yeah. There we go. A little up and then left. Yeah. I think left has to go left to center, doesn't it?
Now it's set.
Okay. Super.
End session. Yes, sir. It's all good. Yes. Okay. Engage in careful engineering. Give particular attention to what surprises, what is new, and different, and what you did not expect. Write it out in detail. Emphasize those new perceptions so as to train the brain to look for the unexpected. It's what makes how we help in our hearing exceptional. Okay. Practice repeat backs with friends, family, and strangers. Observe and share what happened. How did it make a difference? Explain an abstract concept like impactability, patience, trust, etc. to friends or family and also to strangers if possible. And ask them to repeat back what they understood. What did you notice? What were the differences? What were the differences and how were they related to
All right.
the
So
intuition?
who did you have to talk to later?
Mhm.
Mahesh.
Umesh.
Yeah. So
Umesh.
yeah. So Umesh. That's right. Umesh. So practice a repeat back with him and explain something to him and ask him to repeat it back. Practice that, Beena. It's a good exercise, Beena. It's a very good exercise, don't you think?
Yeah.
You're not seeing them, so it won't help you. But you can do this with Amy, you know, or Mama even. That after the repeat back exercise is to move across to the right a bit, Beena. You see the space on the left of it and the space on the right. It's crowding the red line a bit, yeah.
Hmm.
So it just has to move to the right. A little more even. A bit more. Yeah. We can practice repeat backs with each other too, Beena, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you add one or two ticks to the right, the bottom box, Beena, the think back one.
Right?
Just to the right. Yeah, it's crowding the left, you see. One more. One more. Look at the herd. There you go. There you go. Bom, 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 bom. Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah. After
So
the
when are
repeat
you going
back,
to talk to Umesh, today or tomorrow?
now I will try that. It's too late, but okay. After the
Oh,
repeat back, go over those interactions again in your mind and visualize and give them all connect to their intent. How does perceiving and connecting to their intent make a difference? Yes. As you seeing how these tasks and exercises are
no.
training,
Are you seeing? Not as you. Are you seeing how these
are
tasks
you
and exercises
training
are
you for
training
what?
you? Yeah.
To be what? I told you already, to be a zombie. On top of that, a zombie acrobat.
Ah.
Furthermore, it wants to crawl, wants you to crawl. Spineless. Just listen. Don't say anything. Shut your mouth. What do
All right. What do you feel you need more training in besides zombie acrobatics?
to blow the flames out of my mouth. That's it.
Wow.
Instead of words.
Wow. I can just picture this, the flames and then the zombie falling through the air with the two holding onto the two arms. You could make a nice cartoon out of that. Just zombie acrobat. You show, falling with two arms.
Yeah. See? Just a
That's an interesting question, though, Bina. In terms of this training for what? I debated on this, Bina, to say training. What do you think of this really seriously, Bina? That middle task there, the word training. What can we replace that with? I'm not sure it's ideal or appropriate. What do you think? Where'd you go, Magical Beena? Dearest, delicious, darling angel Beena. Where did you go? I got a lot of love in me, Beena. I got a lot of love in me. I hope you know that. You do? Always had it, Beena. Always, since a little kid. Always had a lot of love in me. Oh my goodness, what's going on there? You're getting, gosh. Don't be walking into electrical fences, Beena. That's zombie training 101. That's what it sounded like. I was hearing bzz, 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 bzz. What was I hearing, Beena? Hmm. Where'd you go, Beena? I'm just hearing all sorts of wonderful sounds, Beena. I have no idea what they mean, but it could be quite something. Quite something, Beena. Quite something. Hello world, hello world, hello, hello, hello world. Oh, that's an idea. I thought to do that. Hmm. Grow, little babies, grow, grow, grow. Oh, my plants are coming back, Beena. After being so callously mutilated for no good reason whatsoever. Beena, I can't tell you what incredible sound effects are coming from you over there.
Oh,
Like I sound like I'm in a disaster movie or something. I don't know, some weird science movie. I was hearing. Pss, 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 pss.
but this is what I'm hearing from your side.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Oh, I have no idea where it comes from, Beena.
I don't
Hello,
know. Oh my
world.
god.
Hello, world.
Oh,
Hello, world. Hello, hello, hello. It's windy here today, Beena. What is it? Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Beena?
oh my god. Soft.
Beena, can you hear me?
Very soft.
Ah, soft. Wow. Can you hear me now? Can you
Still,
hear me now,
I need.
Beena? What about
Yes,
now?
it's too soft.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I don't know what happened. I touched it, but let me come and see what's going on over here.
Yeah.
I accidentally hit that button, but I can't see what's going on. Oh, I'll try. Beena, let's see now. I don't know why it made it softer. I don't know, Beena. I just keep touching the button and it doesn't seem to make any difference. So, hold on, hold on. Let me go to my settings and see. It may be your side too, Beena. Oh, yeah, my microphone deal is well. All right, I'll turn it up. How about now, Beena? Yeah, for whatever reason, it's making me. Hello, Beena?
Yeah,
Oh,
mute self.
no, I'm not mute. I just, is that better now? Can you hear me? Let me try automatically adjusting the volume. Is that better, Beena? Beena? I'm not mute, Beena. I can see my mic moving. Beena? Beena! Beena, go! Beena. I don't know what happened, Beena. I'm here, Beena. I'm here. I'm here. I don't know what happened, why the mic is. But I am here, and it is working, my mic. So if you're not hearing me, it's on your side, Beena. You should hear me, Beena. I'm not hearing you, though.
Oh no, no.
There you go. So you had your sound off for some reason.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh God, I got a call. I will call you.
All
Yeah.
right, Beena. All right, all right. Yeah, just stay on. Just stay on. No. German. Well, it's German. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, so this is in Scotland then? No, Ireland. Ah, actually, Northern Ireland. Oh, well, it's German then. Bengal. Hmm. Oh, see, Germany anyway. Hmm. Hmm.
germs and infections. Introducing PurePap, the portable CPAP cleaner that kills more than 99% of the bacteria that can cause health problems. Use the same revolutionary technology used by hospitals with PurePap. Activated oxygen is used to disinfect and neutralize bacteria and mildew. It's a scientific breakthrough no CPAP user should be without. A dirty CPAP can make you sick, and just wiping your mask doesn't do the trick. It's speedy, hands-free, and completely sanitizes your CPAP machine, mask, hose, and chamber. Ready to get great sleep. Plus, as a special bonus, we'll give you the PurePap sanitizing bag, absolutely free. Call now or go to purepap.com.
This is a tale of two kitties. This kitty uses ordinary litter. This kitty uses pretty litter, the world's smartest cat litter, and it's delivered right to your door. It's ultra-light, super absorbent formula traps odors, and it does something no ordinary clay litter can do. Pretty litter's color-changing crystals make it easy to monitor your cat's health, helping to avoid serious illness. She's switching to pretty litter. Smart move. Try pretty litter risk-free for 30 days. When you sign up, get free delivery. Go to prettylitter.com. Politics is a horse race.
Pick your emotion. Chances are it was represented in these jumbled images from America's streets. This explosion of raw passion seeming to come from a place far deeper, begging for life to be better. These will be the images that will archive this moment in our history. But let these two, the quiet peacemakers, picking up the pieces. I'm Lester. Please take care of yourself and each other.
Now, I don't believe that you should disband police departments, but I do think that in cities, in states, we need to look at how we are spending the resources and invest more in our communities. Maybe this is an opportunity to re-envision public safety.
That was Congresswoman Karen Bass, chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, on the need for policing reform in our country, but pushing back on the growing rallying cry among protesters to defund the police. Defund the police calls for cutting police budgets and lessening their responsibilities in favor of other social programs. But some in the Democratic Party believe its message is going to sound too radical come November, like the party's presumptive presidential nominee, Joe Biden, who put out a statement today saying he's against it. Joining our conversation, University of Professor at the New School and MSNBC legal analyst Maya Wiley. Claire is still with us. Maya, I've been dying to ask you what you think about this whole conversation, and if we're getting it wrong in the way we're covering it. I count on you for the brutal truth.
You know, I count on you for the great questions, Nicole. And here's the thing. The reason, as you said earlier, that more people are showing up every day to protest, the reason we are in week 2, the reason that we are seeing a multiracial, even multi-generational set of protests is because policing is fundamentally broken in this country. It's broken. Or maybe it's not broken, it's just working exactly how it's supposed to. And the point about what people are demanding is that break it, that make it different, meaning not end safety, but make it vastly different. And I think this is part of what we can do a better job of in discussing in the coverage, is that it is about justice for George Floyd, of course, but that people are demanding something much larger and much more transformative. And it goes straight to the heart of, for example, in New York City, we literally have 1.1 million children in our public school system. We have over 5,000 people who work as school safety agents. They are police department employees. We have 560 psychologists. 560. So when you think about 1.1 million children with 560 psychologists, and most of the investment going to a law enforcement model inside the schools, I mean, people are rightly saying you have to cut the police budget and change what we mean by policing, what its focus is, how it works, and we must use that funding to take roles away from policing that shouldn't be policing, like people in our schools, and make it the people we need in our schools in allies and the safety net supports they need when they're in trouble, and we will have something different. So I agree that the word defund does not capture that, but I think what we're hearing about what the demand is exactly right, and we shouldn't get caught up in the words. We should get caught up in the clarity of the demand, and the demand is policing should not be what it is today, and we should have a radically different vision, and in my view, a vision of policing that is what we call problem-oriented policing, meaning focused, strategic, and partnering not just with the communities but with other agencies, because they're often the best on the front line to say, here are problems that other agencies should be helping to fix. This shouldn't be a police problem, like selling loose cigarettes on a street corner because you don't have a job, which is Eric Garner.
Well, Maya Wiley, you just in 2 minutes brought more clarity to this issue than anyone I've seen talk about it in 10 days. Let me just follow up with one question. I mean, it sounds, and I'll leave the semantic debate to others, but it sounds like what it is in sort of early childhood psychology is early intervention. And is that sort of the concept? You're getting to these kids before they're in trouble and having their first interaction with law enforcement. You're helping them. You're plussing up the things that will keep them from heading down that path in the first place.
That's part of it, Nicole. But the other part of it, part of the reason that the protests are passionate, is that the reason that kids are being pulled into the criminal justice system in the first place are their assumptions about their behavior, not what their behavior actually is. Let me give you just a very clear example. This was in the New York Times just back in December. We have Black and Latino law police officers who have filed a discrimination complaint against the department because they were instructed, according to them, instructed to leave white people and Asians alone. Go after Black and Latinos if you see them jumping the turnstile. In other words, not paying the subway fare. Focus on them. Get them into the criminal justice system. By the way, so many New Yorkers cannot afford the fares, but we could criminalize that by taking them to jail, or we could recognize what is it about the lack of affordability, the fact that people can't pay, as the first instance, not to see them as criminal. And what Blacks and Latinos all around the country are saying, what I feel passionately about is, part of the call here is start seeing us as people, stop seeing us as a problem.
Claire McCaskill.
Listen, Maya and I agree 100%. But as somebody who's been through a great number of political wars, branding matters. And what I want to make sure is that the unity of purpose that all of us feel is expressed adequately. We have to do radical reform that is community-based. It needs to be about public safety, not policing. How do we make the public safe? How do we make communities healthy? How do we deal with the homeless population? How do we have more drug treatment? How do we have more mental health assistance? How do we have neighborhood groups coming together and not the police telling them what they need to do, but rather telling the police what they need of them in terms of making their communities healthy and safe? My fear about the term defund the police is it will be misused and abused by people who want to scare people who don't dig down to realize that all of us want the same thing, that are advocating for this. Nobody
single care app? I was actually going to mention that you can save up to 80% with single care.
You know about that?
I didn't want to interrupt. Felt like a West Wing moment.
10 seconds to lower the cost of your prescription.
We are keeping count, and we deliver hands-on STEM projects designed to inspire young creators. Kids Foundation studies for science, engineering, art, and more. Get 30% off and trykeepingcount.com.
Why would your kids need a green light debit card?
The Passionate Debit Card app designed to help them develop healthy financial habits, to teach them how to save and encourage them to set their own goals. Know the passionate difference it could make in their lives, in their futures. Green light.
We at National Football League admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We at National Football League believe Black Lives Matter.
It's a pretty remarkable statement given the way the NFL has responded to on-the-field activism over the last few years. That was Roger Goodell, the league's commissioner, apologizing for the handling of protests over social injustices early on. You'll recall a number of players wanted to draw attention to the issues we're now talking about every single day, and thousands of people protesting over in cities coast to coast. They wanted to do that by kneeling during the national anthem before the games. The league was criticized for new rules and made it harder for them to do so. And it didn't go unnoticed that nowhere in that video statement by Roger Goodell does he say the words Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick was effectively banished from the NFL for starting the league's protest movement. Donald Trump used Kaepernick as a tool, a political weapon during the midterms to inflame a culture war. Now he might be trying to do it again, tweeting this, quote, could it be even remotely possible that in Roger Goodell's rather interesting statement of peace and reconciliation, he was intimating, big word for Trump, that it would now be okay for the players to kneel or not to stand for the national anthem, thereby disrespecting our country and our flag? Nobody thinks that's what they're doing. Joining us now, former NFL player Marvin Washington, the former defensive end, played 11 seasons in the NFL for the New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers, and Denver Broncos, and chief national correspondent for the New York Times Magazine, Mark Leibovich, who's written extensively about Goodell and the NFL. Let me just start with you first, real quick, Mark. What do you think brought Goodell to do this?
I think this is another case of the NFL being late on an issue. I think the NFL became involved in this last week. As usual, they sort of backed into it. The star quarterback for the New Orleans Saints made a remark that I think a few years ago was a lot less controversial. He said that he feels that it's never right to disrespect the flag, which he was associated with kneeling at the time. There was a meme long back, including from some of his teammates on the Saints, and he backed out immediately and he apologized immediately. He apologized twice. President Trump immediately sort of criticized him for apologizing, and then Drew Brees, went right back at the president, which was surprising to a lot of people. But he said, "No, I do apologize. I mean, everything I said. My teammates are important. And I'm learning about this." And so, frankly, the NFL and Roger Goodell was forced to act by what was a very uncomfortable situation earlier in the week. And I think, to his credit, maybe too late, but to his credit, Roger Goodell did make a fairly strong statement compared to what he had said before. But as you mentioned, Nicole, he doesn't mention the issues of looking overall, such as Colin Kaepernick, and also the issue of what will happen if and when the games start in the fall, when there are, as there inevitably will be, more players kneeling than there were last year. So, look, Roger Goodell is a very powerful commissioner, but he also has limited power that, unlike the owners who he responds to, he does not like have the power to sign Colin Kaepernick to a contract. So we're going to see how this plays out. But at the very least, I think it's a stronger statement Roger Goodell has made in the past. But there's a lot left unsaid and unspoken here that will play out as the season gets underway.
Marvin, do you think what the players think when they see that statement and they see how the league has struggled with this issue?
Well, I think it's progress. And one thing that worked out well is the players got put out a video that was started by an NFL employee that had went rogue because the NFL still had put out a statement. So he got some of that all pro and from all players and high profile players to name the names that have been affected by police brutality over just since Colin Kaepernick was taking his knee. And then the other thing is that the players are happy because you're not, you don't see the guy when he's coming out the trench with his hands up. So it is important. But I want to see the owners get behind it. I want to see the owners, make a statement and do something like the players did because Roger Goodell has limited power. And, Roger can do that now because his legacy is secure. He's negotiated his last CBA that he's going to do right now, so I think he feels some freedom and emboldened to do that. But, I would like to see the owners come out, and then also I would like to see Kaepernick go through the process to get on a team and not the Dolphins movie show that the NFL tried to do with him and slip in a waiver that protected him from future lawsuits. He's an NFL quarterback. There are not 96 NFL quarterbacks better than Colin Kaepernick. Somebody needs to sign him to a team, and then Roger Goodell needs to mention the one name too. So,
Martin, the owners are, as you said, such an important piece of this. Here's Donald Trump basically threatening or challenging the owners to be pretty harsh with players who protest. Watch.
Would you love to see one of these NFL owners when somebody disrespects our flag? To say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now.
Just even among his voters, I'm not sure it's going to land the same way. You've got all these military leaders in America coming forward and saying protest is inherently American, peaceful protest, and that's what all of these were on the field. Do you think the owners will be fortified or stronger with the shifts in public opinion?
I hope so, because the developments that happen in America has happened all over the world. And you're seeing these protests, but they don't have any issue with people protesting or protesting going to state capitol and protesting about getting their hair cut or eating at Waffle House. But they seem like they have a problem with the communities of colors protesting about them killing black men. So I think the owners, if they're smart, other corporations that came out and made statements of owners start to get behind this because they're going to be on the wrong side of history, and history is definitely going to judge them. I'm waiting for Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft, who's a good friend of Mr. Trump, to come out and make a statement because, this is not going away. This is still going to be here when they try to have their season, which I don't even know if they're going to have a season. But, they need to get behind this and get on the right side of history.
You're right. You singled out the two owners that I was wondering about. Could I ask both of you to stay over for a quick break? I've got one more question on the other side. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Sacrifice for the common good, do things that are hard. This week, the youth returns with former Secretary of Defense. It's the toughest job I had. It's decided to find the best. Actually, since now on Apple Podcasts. 60% of Americans support allowing people to vote by mail-in ballot, including internally Republicans. Many elected Republicans, including the president, are trying to block it. And time is now running out. New Scheer's election experts say that expanding voting by mail for November could require making commitments even in the next few weeks. Congress must act now to fund such voting, and states need to do whatever it takes to make it happen because people should not have to choose between their health and participating in democracy. if you're not in perfect health or were turned down by others.
Select Antonio was type 2 diabetes, a $500,000 policy for only $44 a month. Greg has sleep apnea. We found him a $1.5 million policy for only $68 a month. And select Motown Jacob is an excellent health, a $500,000 policy for only $20 a month.
Our secret? It's select aggressively comparison shop planning. So you can pick the simple one. American General, Prudential, Mutual. Like you, the company developed this raised give your family the security they need at a price you can bear. Even if you're not in perfect health, call 1-800-773-7373. Select we shop, you save.
Did you just reward your phone for spending more than a reasonable amount of time on the couch with purpose or maybe to work instead of energy produced for the $5 order?
Will you, Beena? Oh.
Outlier Marvin Washington, and New York Times writer reporter Mark leaving it shortly. Somebody found clinical, but my question about the NFL is, are they moved by the fact that it is not commercial to not support reforms, or are they moved by some? I mean, did their hearts change? I mean, did they look at what's happening in this country and on the streets and say, it's Marvin just said we got to get on the right side of history?
I think looking to be more charitable than I usually am here, I think maybe their hearts have changed a little bit just because this issue has moved very quickly, not just in the last 3 years since the last time the president claimed up about this, but really the last few weeks, the last few days. I mean, this is a very, very fast moving conversation that is happening in America right now that just continues to build. And a lot of the people who are speaking out are very surprising, frankly. Roger Goodell being the latest example. But also, I mean, look, I mean, there is a couple of ongoing real shames in the NFL right now. One is that there's not a single African American owner of the 32. The only one non-white owner is the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shad Khan, who is from Pakistan. There's 3 NFL head coaches who are African American. That's a downward trend, and that look, that is again somewhat out of Roger Goodell's control. But these are businessmen. These are largely, they're almost all billionaires. The people who own these teams, they're bottom line guys. Many of them are Trump supporters. Many of them are Republicans. The fan base, at least 3 years ago, of the NFL was predominantly Republican. So there is a big market force that is at work here. The question is, has the market changed? Has the conversation changed? And I think if along with it, again, or in just a way, the hearts and minds of the people who run the league change, you can be very cynical and say, it may be good business to get behind some of these causes right now. But, I think in general, you sort of look at the NFL as an entity that has not always led on these issues. So it's very early to give them the benefit of any doubt.
Marvin, what would your advice be to owners and teams right now?
Stay on the right side of history and get behind what 75% of your players is affecting them and their community. Don't just talk about it, put some actionable moves in place that are going to affect change in your community, because this is not going away. This is affecting their players, their families, their wives, and what have you. So they need to get behind this because they're on the wrong side of history with this, and whether it comes from a sincere place or it comes from it affecting their bottom line, do something about it, because this is not going away, and then lie to yourself with the ideology or a guy that's only going to be here for the next few months, hopefully. It's the wrong way to go, because this right here, these protests right here, it's an opportunity for not only for the NFL owners and how they deal with their communities and the communities of their players, but it's also an opportunity for this country to change, and we can see some differences in the way that police departments throughout the nations deal with the people of color.
I know that what Colin Kaepernick wants is to play, but is there a role, even if he's not super interested in filling it, for him to lead this conversation or help in this conversation?
He should be part of the conversation. Yes, he should be part of the conversation because he's the one that started it. Brought attention to NFL to this when it wasn't very profitable. He had the behind
discrimination against them. So we should be a part of this conversation. So the next time the owners hold a players' council, Colin Kaepernick should be there at the head of the table leading this conversation. And one other thing I want to say is earlier I said we want police to stop killing black men. And my daughter sent me a text to say it's black people because I definitely don't want to forget about Breonna Taylor. That was scary. So, yeah. So,
children as our where any of us have done that. Thank your daughter on behalf of all of us. Mark Leibovich, this is the beginning of a conversation that I don't think is going anywhere. Please promise you won't come back often. After Aubrey, a celebration of 3 lives well lived. You can't always stop early or sleeping. With freestyle Libre 14 days that stop glucose longer, zero calories total. With a painless 1-second scan, you can check your glucose with a smartphone or reader, so you can stay in the moment, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Ask your doctor for a prescription for the freestyle Libre 14 day system. You can do it without either sticks. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
great American comeback has begun. A record 2.5 million new jobs in May, and we're just getting started. Before the pandemic, President Trump made our economy slowly improve. Now he's doing it again, and bringing devastating industries back and working to build factories here instead of China, getting government cash relief to families, and restoring green wealth. Together, we'll make America great again. I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message. Lower their blood sugar. The majority of adults who took Ozempic reached an A1C under 7 and maintained an A1C. Oh, my A1C is under 7. And you may lose weight. Adults who took Ozempic lost on average up to 12 pounds. Also was 12 pounds. For those also with known heart disease, Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as heart attack, stroke, or death. It lowers the risk. Ozempic is not for people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Do not share needles or pens. Don't reuse needles. Do not take Ozempic if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Ozempic. Stop taking Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck and severe stomach pain, itching, rash, or trouble breathing. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Tell your doctor if you have diabetic retinopathy or vision changes. Taking Ozempic with sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Common side effects are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pain, and constipation. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Once weekly Ozempic is helping increase red blood sugar goal. We're at your healthcare monitor today about once weekly Ozempic. We remain committed to keeping Ozempic available and affordable during these challenging times. With the Ozempic savings card, you may be eligible to pay as little as $25 for a 1-month or 3-month prescription. One thing better while staying in. Real pricing. Figure it out. Shop to get more convenience. Skip the shop. Now you can be moving. Get meals delivered fresh, not frozen. Right to your door. Build your weekly menu today. Freshly.com.
Okay, sit down for a minute. Shortly before her sister Zoe died from the coronavirus last month, Mia Munchin observed, quote, racism and health disparities continue, and the zip code in which we live still predetermines the type of care we receive. Rana Zoe Munchin, a 38-year-old middle school social studies teacher in Brooklyn, was twice denied a COVID-19 test. Zoe's friends say her struggle to get treatment was a product of institutional bias, but will remember her for what she was, a person with a genuine, caring heart, described as a heart-closed cheek and an incredible storyteller. Zoe was a young woman with so much promise. She fought for her students and the black and brown children so often left behind. She was a delight to her friends, and she'll be forever missed by her family who loved her so very much. We also want to celebrate Harold and Marion Worthing,